So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirits, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, fantastic viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad you guys finally found me. For those of you guys returning, I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading again today. I can't wait to get into today's reading. We're looking at a blessing that is happening next in your life. Okay, so what's the next blessing coming in for you guys? I can't wait to get into this reading because it's always exciting to see what sort of positive, beautiful energy is coming towards you. And it's not always that I'm delivering such great, amazing news for you guys. So I can't wait. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. This is a pick a card, pick an option reading. Okay, we'll get into these three picks shortly. But for those of you guys interested in the decks I will be using, there is quite a bit. So let's take a look at the decks I'll be using for this reading. I will put a link to my playlist where I do reveal a lot of these decks for those of you guys interested in taking a look at these decks for yourself. You will find most of these there. It's my first time using these ones. It should be exciting. And for the tarot, we'll be using this deck right here. All right, so let me put these aside. Beautiful people. Let's take a look at the three options we have for today's reading. Option number one, you have this piece of clear quartz. Option number two, you have this white sage stick, or bundle, I guess. Option number three, you have this tin angel. All right, so beautiful people. Sit with this energy. It's absolutely fine to be pulled to multiple options here. Don't limit yourself, okay? If you have a tough time picking, just close your eyes. And when you're ready, open them. And whichever pick you sort of feel called to will most likely have your reading. It's absolutely important to use your own intuition. Okay, I don't want to deliver false information here. So come up with what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this pile and this message resonates for you. Should resonate with your intuition, okay? So I'll leave this here. The timestamp for each of these will be in the description box and in the pinned comment below. It'll take you guys directly to your pick, and I will see you there. Hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number one, you guys picked the clear quartz chunk. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get into your reading, shall we? Or shall we put your clear quartz? Let's move it over here. Let's take a look at these pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at these. Okay, ask the divine, the next blessing coming in for you. Okay, so this is coming in right away. It's your next blessing, whatever this is. Okay, whatever you'd consider a blessing. So it's important to use your own intuition, what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this is your message or not. Best way to do this is to sit with your intuition as I do the card layout. Okay, if you are in tune with your intuition, you can go straight away to the channeled message. That's up to you. Okay, if it doesn't resonate, pick another pile. All right, let's take a looky look, shall we? Door to value. Oh my goodness, look at this door opening up and all this cash flow coming in here. Now, cash, when I read it in the Oracle, it takes me back to Pentacles. Okay, and Pentacles is the practical world of material. So this could be wealth. Okay, whatever wealth looks like to you. It could be financial gain for sure, a windfall here of money, but maybe it could represent an income of whatever the wealth is, you know. Maybe you have a YouTube channel, you get monetized here. Okay, maybe it's an abundance of valued friendships that come in. And whatever this is, though, it is almost like a windfall energy that I'm getting here with card 31. So 31 is 4, and 4 is Emperor energy. So there is this like powerful energy coming through with the Emperor. It's almost reminding me of maybe something you did is now coming in for you. Like you took action on something as a result of your action or as a result of your confidence in something is now paying it towards you. This is really what I feel here. Wow, that's beautiful. Let's keep going. You see contract. Look at this, number 6. So this is like justice energy, Libra energy pulling through here. 6, though, is about problem solving, compassion and harmony. It's the Lovers and the Devil in the tarot. Okay, so I'm feeling the positive aspect of the Devil. This could be something that you've been really fixated or really like obsessing over potentially, or giving a lot of your energy and your effort with the Devil. You know, could be something you've overly invested in or been really, really sort of committed to or obsessing over or fixating over. I'm really getting that. But yeah, with this sort of balance here, I don't know, it's like, yeah, like what I'm really getting, you guys, very strong energy for this group. It's like the Devil, sorry, not the Devil, this is the Devil. the Devil energy here in the light attribute. It's like the Emperor's energy of whatever you were really bringing into fruition, because I feel you've had to create some sort of order, structure, or be confident in your approach to something. I feel you've been creating something with that masculine energy. Yeah, now I'm also getting, my goodness, this doesn't always go this way, but I feel like there's this masculine energy of source, father energy, something you've created. And then I'm feeling this Devil energy because I feel you've been very fixated and focused on this thing bringing in, you know. 6 could be this equal reciprocity where we give and give and give and give, but then we sort of tip the scales and start to receive the fruits of our labor. I feel like something's coming into balance, and I don't think you see it coming. I think you haven't seen any fruit yet, and I think you weren't sure if you were going to see anything ever manifest here from this thing, but I feel like you haven't given up. Yeah, look at these closed books. I think you haven't seen it. Haven't seen it. Maybe even stop believing in it for some of you guys. And look at this windfall. Wow. Amazing. All right, so let's keep going. Reaction. And look at the tears here. Drip, 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 drip. I feel like, you know, they say you invest your blood, sweat, and tears. I feel like you've really invested in whatever this is. Sweat equity, emotional equity. Yeah, and I don't know, are these lotus flowers? Because lotus flowers, like we always say, grow in very challenging environments, you know, in mud, and somehow they bloom and blossom. And so maybe your environment was very difficult or challenging, but yet somehow now here comes this blossom or this bloom. I'm even seeing like this sort of wrapped around this person's arms. Maybe you felt very like the Devil energy again, like chained to something or limited by your environment and what you could and could not do. And maybe there's a lot of sadness here, but I see a little bit of flames here in the background. So what is this? Your passion, again, that Devil energy, your consistent passion to seeing this through the end, maybe, you know, devotion, obsession, fixation, whatever you want to call it. And that's the positive attribute of the Devil, is like not giving up on this passion that you have, or this vision that you have of something. Toadstool's growth. Yeah, something's growing. And look at this 44. 44, integrity as a foundation, treating the earth as home and a temple, manifestation and leadership. Oh my goodness. Manifestation and leadership. Emperor's leadership. Manifestation, like I said, something coming in based on your action. And it's had growth. And maybe we haven't seen the growth, or the growth hasn't been attainable or manifested in a way that you could benefit. Wow, 44 might be significant for you, but that's an 8. And 8 is the star, which is Aquarius energy, but that's getting your wish. It's a vision you held. It can also talk about destiny, you know. Wow, this is huge. Look at this. So is this a hawk or an eagle? Sorry, sometimes it's hard for me to tell. I think this is an eagle. Yeah, this is looking like an eagle. So eagles symbolize vision as well as divinity, you know. But I'm getting vision, and I was getting that with the star. You had a vision. Wow. What is this? It might be unique for all of you guys, but I feel like you already know what this is. So I don't know why all these cards. We'll see. I'm getting super excited for you guys. Let's see. What is this? Oh my goodness. Look at these swifts. And swifts were used, or swallows. I don't know. There is a difference though, but they were used in the Navy to, you know, the sailors would set them free to go and see how close they are to land. And so it's like a journey. And we want to know when we're getting there to the finish line of something. And look at this, cage is now open. And I was really feeling devil, like chains, which could have felt like limiting, restricting. Your environment was restricting. And now look at this freedom. We're coming close to land. Wow. You guys. Okay, so I guess I should read it. 7, keeper of hope. Yeah, you haven't lost your vision with the star. It's like hope. And look at this this butterfly talking about liberation, transformation. Justice can talk about liberation. Reaction, keeper of hope. So I'm getting Aquarius, definitely, energy from this. And look at, I didn't notice, it does say toadstool, but look at these mushrooms. Are those the poisonous kind? There's something devilly here. Toxic here, or destructive here, or limiting here. So Aquarius and Capricorn energy I'm really feeling here in Libra. Yeah, Earth with the pentacle, but I feel like this is the earthly attainment of something. Yeah, Saturn, very heavy here as well, which is the ruling planet for Capricorn, Aquarius, which are the two energies I'm really feeling here. Okay, look at her. She's cooking. And look at all these pots. Yeah, the energy and the effort. You know when we have to cook like a big meal or something for a big event, and it's like we have all these things going, and one thing's sort of like going, and they're all sort of independent, but at the end of the day, it's like, so you could present the meal, and there's so much effort that goes into this. And it's like there's a lot of like dirty pots and pans, and we're like restricted to how many elements we have and how many pots we have, and sometimes we got to feed more than what we have. It's like, I don't know, but I feel like you've been creating something again here. You were the chef or the creator of something with very limited amount of space or your environment in order to deliver something of substance. Something of substance here for sure. Wowzers. Alrighty. Now look at this. This looks like a stage and a curtain. So we're performing. Can you see, or is there too much light here? Yeah, you can see. I don't know. Is this a shadowy figure here? No one's on stage. The stage is about to perform something here. Are you behind the curtain? Okay, now what I'm getting is similar to this analogy I used. It's like, you know, when you're, I don't know if any of you guys or in drama or acting or something, but like all the work that goes into perfecting a play, the many hours are spent depending on whether it's like whatever the performance is what I want to say. It doesn't matter what the performance is. There's lots of hours invested on the back end. Like when we eat the meal, the people eating the meal don't know what was invested in the back end. When we go watch a concert or whatever, we don't know what was invested in the back end. I feel you're in the back end of something, which was the commitment, that Saturn energy, but it wasn't showtime yet. You haven't performed. So it's like, imagine like, I'm getting this energy, like imagine like going every day for like a year to practice. I don't know, like an acrobat or something, or a performance or singing, and you're practicing the song that you wrote, and it like from cradle to grave, but like really you're doing it so you can perform and it could be manifested in the real world. Otherwise, you're just sort of practicing this thing that never goes into someone's mouth, right? Like you can cook and cook, but it's like, unless you feed the people that show up to the event, it doesn't really matter how long you cook or how great it tastes if there's no audience. And same with like this practice of like singing or like writing that song or like the book or whatever it is like the launch date or when you go live. That's the whole point, is when you go live. But you can't just go live if you don't do the back end. Well, like if the party shows up and you haven't cooked the food, they don't eat. If people show up for this concert and you didn't ever write the song or practice it, no one sings. Wow, something's manifesting here. That was crazy. Let's see. 20 with bugs. 20 with bugs. This is Dream Interpretation Oracle. And so, have you been dreaming of bugs? Have you been seeing a lot of bugs? I mean, here is like turning into summer, so bugs are starting to come out, but bugs. What am I getting with this card? I'm seeing a ladybug. Ladybugs talk about blessings and luck. This Jupiter energy, Sagittarius Pisces energy. So the Sagittarius Pisces is that of like dreaming big, having a vision of like something that might seem almost like a fantasy that brings us great joy and abundance. So, but what are the bugs? And it looks like a lot of people sort of gathering here as well. Are people interfering? Have people been interfering? Has it been challenging with the people to still accomplish something here? Maybe you've been really challenged, like if we were to practice or cook, how annoying would it be if we had to cook this, perfect this stage performance, and have people around us or circumstances, might not be people or environment, where there's constant annoyances with the bugs, because bugs could be quite annoying, It's like I have to cook this, but then I keep like swatting mosquitoes. It's like it adds a whole other layer to this whole thing, which is kind of devilly, because I was feeling like there was something like chained in some way. I don't know. This bug energy is kind of different. So let's keep seeing. So we see this person walking with a cane. They're missing a leg and a flip-flop. What is this? What is this? Do you see that? Is a shadow of like thorns, a cane, and a missing leg. Have we been like challenged, like limited? It again with the bugs and this, like there was a limitation we had to push through and find a way to use whatever we could as a means to get through. But look at this leg is missing on the right side, and this is where all these thorns are. And we just miss the thorns. Like, why are there thorns here? I don't know. Let's keep going. Interesting, fascinating reading. Pile number 1. Number 20, Feast of Plenty, Choices and Their Consequences. Wow. So we see two swords. Two swords in the tarot can talk about fence sitting or indecision. It could be a stalemate, a need to go or choose one sort of direction, but it could be where we were incapable of sort of seeing which direction to move, a period of balance, a period of having to sit there, before go live. I feel like there's a go live date or a go live thing. And look at this crystal I'm now being drawn to, is very much similar to this crystal here. Although it does have a bluish tinge to it, I feel like crystals can certainly talk about, with the clear quartz, it's like having the crystal clear vision. This could really be even looking at like a scrying ball, where it's like seeing clearly now. Yeah, it's like seeing clearly, maybe where there was uncertainty or where we couldn't quite see because we were at a stalemate or we needed more information or things were coming into balance. Twos do talk about making a decision, talks about balance, which we got here. Duality, choices. Yeah, choices and their consequences. And look at this bee. Bugs. The bee's the worker bee. There's only one bee here. I think you were solo in having to see clearly or make sense of something, or it's your choice. But I feel like there was, again, this work, this investment, this energy, this Saturn energy. Dress rehearsal, you guys, I couldn't even make this shit up. Dress rehearsal? Is this not like, look at these curtains, going on stage, performing, alternative course, and choices and their consequences. Alternative course. Alternative course? The dress rehearsal? Is this right before the big night? Is these two people in the moonlight? And then this like lady performing in the purple. Purple is a very spiritual color. It represents the crown chakra. Choices and their consequences. Choices. And these stairs can certainly be talking about like ascension. Look at this, eagles flying high on another level. There's definitely a tier here, like a tiered system or a tiered, a more elevated point of view potentially here. But here we see a shadow with two people, and here I was feeling people. And the moon can talk about fears. Something about the shadows, dress rehearsal, and this red curtain. The red curtain. The red curtain can mean something to you, but I'm really getting that stage. Sorry, I know I'm spending a lot of time in this because I'm just absolutely fascinated. Red curtain. The red carpet, I just heard. Are you like a performer? My goodness. And look at this. Two different decks. And she's like covered in beautiful flowers, a headpiece made of flowers. Pink roses, all about self-love. Flowers are definitely talking about abundance and new beginnings. We have the lotus flowers here as well. And I don't know what sort of vines these are. What is that? Do you guys know what sort of flowers those are, or like plants? Okay, dress rehearsal. Okay, well, a dress rehearsal is like the night before. We're sort of seeing how it sort of goes. Okay, I'm so fascinated, you guys. And I'm also getting, see how I was really drawn to the flowers on the head and this purple, which is crown chakra. There's a lot of like energy in the head, which is where we receive downloads and like connect to the divine. This person has no hair and nothing here. But look at this like ring, like giving me Saturn energy again, which I was really feeling Saturn energy from this reading. But it's like the baldness here in contrast to all of the flowers. Like, were we exposed, or like maybe we were dealing with a situation where there was no, where this might have been closed even, and now it's like blooming. maybe the intuition was, like Saturn energy, like over time, there was a need to develop the growth or the blossoming of the crown chakra, but it was very challenging, like Saturn could be, with lots of effort, lots of energy expent here. And now it's like blossoming or blooming here, the intuition, lots of purple here. All right, so let's keep going. So there's the food we were cooking. It's a plate of spaghetti. Mom's spaghetti. Just heard M&M. Mom's spaghetti. It feels very European here with this Delftware, which is blue and white ware. Empty chair. Empty chairs could definitely talk about, like when I see an empty chair in the oracle, it could definitely signify where we're leaving a phase in our life or someone leaves. And it gives me strong emperor energy. And so did we have to show up or did we have to leave? There's something about an emperor and something about someone not showing up. But look, this plate is ready, full of spaghetti. Or this bowl, I guess, if you will. What does this mean? Journey. And the white horse. White horse, again, the liberation, the freedom. Journey. Okay. Some journey. And we have the old woman. The old woman. So it's giving me crone energy, which is very mystic and wise. Experienced. And she's giving me heavy empress energy too, like sitting in this throne. And look at the emperor's not here, but the empress is here. And look at this chair, sort of uncomfortable, because it's like the wooden chair that like kills your back. And like, look how comfy this chair is. Oh, how fascinating. Yeah, okay, and I'm feeling heavy emperor here. You might have had to be an emperor here, and now it's like the reward, because incoming would be the feminine. Outputting is masculine, incoming is feminine. And so it's time for incoming of blessing. You don't need to do anything. It's kind of what I'm picking up. It's like the food is cooked. It's time to eat. It's already here. And you've been busy cooking, dress rehearsal, manicuring, I don't know, busy with all sorts of annoyances and impedance. And wow, yeah, like impedance and challenges and like obstacles, and like it feels like you've gone through a war here and sitting here patiently with the two swords. But what's this choice and what's this consequence? Ostrich. So ostrich is like what, the road runner, very fast. I gotta read this ostrich because I don't know what I'm feeling here with this. Yeah, what is with the ostrich? Can we ride an ostrich? I don't see why not. I don't know that I'm going to read it all. We'll see. It says deciphering between false and real threats. Oh my gosh, the bugs. Let's keep reading. The ostrich, the largest bird on Earth, is an intelligent and fast-moving creature capable of running up to 45 miles per hour. Its feathery coat serves multiple purposes, keeping it warm during chilly nights and regulating its temperature by fluffing its feathers. With sharp eyesight, oh my goodness, eyesight, totally with this eagle, because that's all about vision. Okay, with sharp eyesight, it can detect danger from a distance and approaches with caution and curiosity, recognizing the importance of self-protection. Embracing the spirit of the ostrich can provide us with the wisdom to discern between false and genuine threats in our lives. Similar to how the ostrich keenly observes its surroundings, we too can develop the ability to differentiate between actual dangers and internal fears that may hinder our progress. By approaching challenge with a blend of curiosity and caution, We can safeguard ourselves while remaining open to new perspectives and opportunities. The ostrich serves as a reminder that our strength lies in making sound judgments and taking calculated risks. When you find yourself feeling activated or threatened, call upon the ostrich to help regulate your nervous system. It can guide you in identifying the reasons, stimuli, or thoughts that trigger your activation. With the ostrich's assistance, you can maintain a calm and grounded state, even in the presence of fear, enabling you to move past any resistance that may arise as a result. It assists in detecting potential threats or obstacles while helping you stay connected to your intuition. We were totally feeling that with the crown. And look at the moon here, talks about fears. Were you dealing with someone else's fears? Someone else's projections, maybe? Okay, let's keep going. So what are saying? With the ostrich's assistance, you can maintain a calm, grounded state, even in the presence of fear, enabling you to move past any resistance that may arise as a result. It assists in detecting potential threats or obstacles while helping you stay connected to your intuition and trust your internal guidance system. The ostrich aids in distinguishing, which could be a character on stage here. Interesting. The ostrich aids in distinguishing between genuine present dangers and false fears generated by shadow to keep you safe. Sometimes our reactions don't align with external stimuli, particularly when viewed through a shadow filter that projects our own experiences or interpretations onto comments, experiences, or situations. This doesn't invalidate our experience. It simply indicates that more information is needed to gain clarity. Two swords. The ostrich can help you tap into your confidence and courage, empowering you to fearlessly ask the questions necessary to obtain the information needed for clearer processing or external stimuli. The ostrich also serves as a reminder of the importance of self-protection while approaching situations through the lens of love, responding with love instead of fear. The ostrich reminds you that some of our most profound growth occurs through curiosity and discovery, stepping outside of our comfort zone and asking more questions. Trust yourself, knowing you possess the strength and courage to navigate whatever comes your way. Whenever you need a surge of forward momentum, call upon the ostrich to help clear your path, allowing you to move full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. That would be scary if you're in your comfort zone. That would be scary if you have fears. Right? I don't know how I feel about this ostrich, you guys, but there's lots of understanding this restriction now, and that devilly energy was really the fear, the shadow, but to something's fast, and something was at a stalemate, needed more information. Okay. Adventure. This is journey energy. We're about to embark outside of our comfort zone. Wow. Look at this little baby looking like thing. It kind of looks creepy. It's reminding me of Chucky. It's just the body, a language of this little raggedy doll or whatever, Raggedy Ann. Just creeping me out. But anyway, she's going into an adventure. It's full of light. It's a new beginning here with this young energy. Full steam ahead. Oh my goodness me. Vision, like I said, with this eagle. And this is a coyote, I think. No. A lynx, because look at its ears. And it has a prey in its mouth. What sort of animal is in its mouth? I don't know. Maybe a dead rabbit? A lynx. Here's the sun. Here's the intuitive eye, which is really that intuition with all that purple. Seeing clearly. Number 12 is the hangman, which is all about an enlightened perspective and a change of mind. We have sun in Pisces. Sun in Pisces with vision. Okie dokie. Mom spaghetti. Yeah, mom spaghetti. I want to feel safe here, but we're not sure. Okay. Fascinating. I'm still very fascinated by this reading. Let me sit here and tap into this, and then you guys can go straight away to the channeled message. Okay. Wow. Pile number one, you got to go, you don't got to do nothing, but go listen to the card layout because there's so much. There's so much. So I'm going to start to channel, okay? If this isn't your message, then go to another pile. So pile one, you've been invested in something here for quite some time. I think you've been giving it like your best here, you know? And it's like doing motions of something, but I think there's a heavy anticipation because I feel like there's an energy really here of being fearful of it working out or you getting what it is that you're actually putting your effort and energy towards. Because if it were to come true or come into fruition, like, you know, there's almost like a fear of it coming true or working out in your favor, where we almost feel like, not that we're unworthy, but it's almost like we wanted to prove to ourselves in some way that we're capable of this thing that we know somewhere within us we are capable of enjoyment or pushing ourselves to achieve wonderful, beautiful things, right? And then we might hesitate or have fears of whether we actually can accomplish or do something. And then we get to a point where we're really close and we know that it could become a reality. And this is really, 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 really scary, you know? And we could start to get even more fearful in some sort of way because it's like, oh man, this is now maybe going to become some sort of reality. I feel like I feel like there's been a thorn in your side, and I do feel like it could be, I'm going to call it the family voice, okay? But it could be the internal critic or the fear that was there or the projection or whatever. Again, you can apply this to you or someone around you, okay? I don't know, but I'm going to read this as your energy. And it's like this family voice that is loud can become a hindrance, and it could be a hindrance for the rest of your life, really, at the end of the day, to achieve and attain whatever happiness and potential you could experience. Okay, but I feel like whatever you're involved with here, and I think you would know because I feel like there is a long time coming and investing in trying to overcome this or work with achieving something, but having this thorn in your side. It's been like having to work through all of this stuff in order to get to some sort of finish line, I feel here, you know? But it's like a milestone, really, because I don't think it's like a finish line, you achieve it and then it's done. I feel like it's a milestone achievement of a place I've never been before to experience. And so we've been preparing and we've been guided. And I feel like sometimes the guidance that's coming through from spirit and our intuition could be very clouded when the fears sort of kick in. And so the whole process has been working beyond my fear, listening to my intuition, seeing things that are blessings without getting in the way of maybe casting projections or something like this. I feel like whatever this is, it hasn't fully blossomed to the full capacity. And I feel like it is at the point where it's going to blossom to full capacity here and reward us for all of our effort. And I feel like when we open this door of acceptance without the fear, I think it comes flooding in as a reward, as a blessing here to us. And I feel like this is, it could be very, very definitely overwhelming here in some capacity here with how much beautiful energy comes with this thing, you know, but I feel like maybe there's this, I don't know if you're reticent or just sort of like, yeah, there's like a hesitancy here that what happens if I could lose this all, or if the family voice comes back or my internal critic comes back or something like this, and it's not good enough, or like, let's take this for example, okay? Like I talked a lot about this during the card layout. It's like when we're doing a go live performance, if something goes bad, it goes bad. You can't redo it. You can't rewind. You can't erase it. It is what it is, and it could go horribly, horribly wrong. But if we just say, whoa, I could fall on my face, forget my line, therefore let's never act again or sing again because we could fumble. And Spirit is really talking about whatever is coming open for you is like, it will be like a dress rehearsal. There is no fumbling. And I think maybe we were really fearful of like fumbling or like it being like a do or die, or if I don't succeed here, it's like a one and done sort of thing. And maybe we just, it's giving off this energy of, because I could fumble, forget my lines, or fall on my face, I just won't even do it or show up. But then we don't eat mom's spaghetti, we don't get to bless the world with our singing, dancing, and this beautiful thing. And I feel like you've been practicing, or like really like you've already sort of have the play. And so Spirit is really talking about you performing the play, you showing up to eat the spaghetti here, because I feel like you're about to receive. And we might be really focused on it going bad or something like this, or it not tasting good or being fulfilling. But I feel like it's really connected to performance in a way, even though it's not a performance. I don't feel like you're like it could be literal for you, like maybe you're performing something and you're an entertainer, but I don't feel I feel like this is where how do I word this? I feel like this is where it's like tricky, because I feel like you might feel like you have to put a performance and you have to be totally successful in this performance. Otherwise it's a failure in some way, or like it wasn't satisfying. And like whoever showed up here, whoever the audience is for you, I don't know. Okay. Is like, I don't know, needs something to sort of line up, or it needs to be like absolutely perfect in some capacity here. But Spirit is really talking about it not being a performance so much as it is you going through an experience here with journey of rolling out whatever this is, because you're already prepared, and it being okay to experience what you will experience here. Because in the dress rehearsal, it's like we can miss a line, we can figure out, like there's a figuring out process here, which I think we're not understanding or seeing. It's like we think we're jumping to go live. Meanwhile, it's like, this is why we have a dress rehearsal, because it's like, okay, if I stand over here, it blocks this light. Okay, now I got to remember, like, I'll put an X over here. I stand here instead of here. It's like the dress rehearsal is very important. And if we were like of an energy here where we had the misconception that I won't even have this dress rehearsal and I got to just go live without the dress rehearsal, we might be more hesitant and fearful, of course, because we didn't get to practice, or we didn't get to work out the kinks, the bugs. It's like when we run a program, it's like we have to do what's it called? Sorry, I'm not a computer programmer or whatever, like software creator, but it's like you have to work out the bugs. There's something about working out the bugs. And I feel like instead of working out the bugs, we might have just been sitting there hoping that the bugs sort of don't happen and that the bugs would be our fault. It's like, I created this program and now I just hold it for myself because I don't want to go live with this program, because what if there are bugs? What if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't run and operate the way that I had intended it? And Spirit is saying, good, great, because part of this whole thing is that we're going to find the bugs, but finding the bugs isn't a do or die where it like says this program is no good. It has to go sort of from cradle to grave and go through this process. But I feel like what this big blessing is that you're ready to receive. It's like it's ready. So like the food is ready, the substance is ready, the abundance is ready, the blessing is ready. And I feel like it's actually more than successful. And I feel like it's fast success. I feel like it's like I was talking about a windfall. It's like once we do this, it's like sometimes you even have dress rehearsals, or you have a thing where you run the program to find the bugs, and it like runs really smooth. But even if it doesn't, that's the whole point of running this dress rehearsal, you know. But I feel like it runs very smooth, and I feel like it whatever you've created here, because this could really apply to anything, is really abundant for you here. And I don't think you've seen the fruits of it. I think it's been challenging. There's been more suffering than anything. I feel you feel very restricted, limited, bound, but I feel there's like a heaviness, like I was talking about this devil energy, you know, because this devil energy is like, you're really like committed to it working out, but there's a lot of also fears and mental speak here, the family voice, you know, that's coming through here, looking at all the reasons why it can't, or where you're challenged with this thing. But yeah, I feel like it's about to pay forward here. And I feel like you've seen this vision, like it was all what it was for. All what you've been working towards is this vision, and this is about to come in. And so we could definitely sabotage in the last minute, you know, when this is about to come in, and it's like, ooh, well, what if there are bugs? And what if I fall on my face? I'll just like not do it. It's like, no, you spent like maybe years practicing for this play, getting it just right. And now it's launch time. And I don't know, like, have we not showed up for ourselves, you know, or is there fear in showing up for ourselves? Or is there like this imposter syndrome and like enjoying the fruits of our labor? Now it's like, now that we can enjoy the fruit, it's like, now I just abandon ship. But we don't get to experience the blessing here, you know, like we cook and cook and cook, and it's like we don't get to try it. That's a form of like a sabotage in some way here. And maybe this has been the MO in some way here, because we have choices and their consequences. So it's like, what is the consequence of me creating this thing and investing? Because I feel that Saturn energy, investing, committing, dedicating, and then I don't crack it open to see. I just let it sit there on a shelf of a possibility, which is better than me like trying it and then it failing or it having bugs. It's like, no, because in my mind it sits as a fantasy illusion of it going perfectly well. And Spirit's saying, allow yourself to go through this process of like this dress rehearsal, working out the kinks, if you will, because part of this adventure journey is that. And then you're ready to receive abundance and see the reward. And this is what brings in this balance. This gives you freedom. And you're so close. You're like right to land here. And I feel like we were really used to seeing it in the same way, maybe as we've always engaged with the fear talking us out of it, you know, and that was the prison. The mind's the prison, the belief, talking ourselves out of that whole thing. And it's like, if we were able to get through the most difficult, because I feel like you've gone through the most difficult, is what Spirit's really talking about. There's like a challenging, I don't know, people, environment, some form of a dedication and a committed energy here. I feel that's been like a struggle or a challenge, or like you've been sort of slowed down by something. Like I said, it could just be your internal thing that slows you down, you know, and now it's like, but you accomplished. And now it's like, after all of this, it's time for this reward. And so I don't know why I'm seeing like this toxic mushroom. And it's like, what's poisonous here? I don't know. Like, is it our own way of sabotaging that could be toxic? Is there our own way of like not choosing to experience, to do the dress rehearsal that's toxic? But I feel like only one person can do this with this bumblebee. Nobody can do this for you. And I don't know if there's like this sort of I'm getting an energy here, you know, when again, it's like that play performance when it's not the real thing. It's like we can do a whole bunch of screw ups. It doesn't matter because it's not the real play. But then when we're in the real play, it's the real deal sort of thing. And so I feel like maybe we feel it's too fast. And like when it's not the real deal, it's like I can take my time, I could screw up. And so there's a freedom there of like burning and turning, and it feels like it's not significant in any sort of way. Because when we're back here sort of cooking, it's like, well, that didn't work out. I'm just going to throw that out or throw that out. But then the minute it's like time to serve the plate, it's like, it is what it is, you know, and we might feel, oh, it's out of control, or it's too fast, or now I can't control it because someone's going to eat this food. It's like, I'd rather just not even show up to something here, you know. Well, we have Keeper of Hope. And so I do feel like part of you understands there's something different here. Some of you guys, this is like really committing to something and following it through. Because I feel like you've been intuitively guided, and I feel like there's a seeing what potential could be, and Spirit is really talking about, yes, this is definitely full potential here that you're understanding, that you're seeing, that you can successfully sort of achieve here, but there's a need to sort of do the go afterness of it, you know, like this lynx has hunted this thing. It's like you have the vision, and then the eagle sort of swoops down and takes action. Like after the dress rehearsal, it's like, okay, now we go on stage and perform. Like, I don't know if we're like last minute sabotages or like get cold feet or like talk us out of it, you know? Yeah. So the blessing here is the fact that Spirit's giving you confirmation something's very successful here. Okay. And your efforts are being acknowledged, and you've been taking action to ensure some form of progress here. And again, I feel there's a lot of like sweat equity or emotional investment here. And we might feel really like disabled in some way. I don't know, like limited. Like you feel like you're limited, potentially. Let's see, spirits, can we see some more for pile one? What is this next blessing coming in for pile one? Why are we seeing this next blessing for pile one? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number one. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number one. Look at this alternative course. Alternative course. I feel like Spirit is really talking about there being a chance to work with the bugs, and like if we have to navigate and like go create certain adjustments, you're being given the sign here that there will be adjustments, there will be course corrections here, there will be a chance at all of this to perfect whatever this is, or to adapt to whatever this is. Like there's an adapting period, which is better than sitting without movement or like not showing up at all, you know? And maybe again, this is what we generally do. Like no one showed up for this stage. No one showed up. And you see the shadow. And so that's the fear. The shadow self is like talking its way out of going on stage here. Like it's going to fail. I'm going to fall. I'll forget my words. And then the shadow has the driver's seat. You know, I'll just go home. I just won't show up. I'll just let someone else do it. Like, I don't know. But I feel you're overcoming this. And this is like the blessing, is like your opportunity to enjoy full abundance that maybe you never had the chance at experiencing because you've been, wow, look at this 222. 222. You've been letting, 2 and 2. You've been letting your fears sort of, I don't know, last minute sort of create outcomes, I feel. So we have curiosity of thought. Curiosity is the page. Page of thoughts is the page of swords. So we're at the early stages of understanding. This is vision. The page of thoughts. Something's becoming clear. The parrot here. And we have healer's intuition. Look at this, the high priestess, and look, more crystals. We're talking about crystals. We see amethyst here. We see an owl. The high priestess, Pisces energy. What don't we see? This is all about starting to see, clearing through confusion. This is all about what's hidden, blocked intuition. Something was blocking or us not seeing or even understanding with the owl. So we have 10 of spirits. So this is the 10 of wands, and it's in reverse. We hit a breaking point. This could be of surrender with it in reverse. I felt overwhelmed. Overwhelmed experience of somatics. So experience, I think, is the Knight of Pentacles, but I'm going to see. I'm going to see for sure, because again, I don't know if experience is the Knight. Pretty sure it is. Now, this bear gives me Emperor energy. We were feeling Emperor when I laid these cards down, and then the chair as well was giving me Emperor Aries energy, by the way. But yeah, what is the experience? Curiosity is the page. Experience is the Knight. Introspection is the Queen, and integration is the King. Okay, so Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, look at this. Consistent. This is Saturn energy. Effort. Something solid. Slow. The bear could be very stubborn. The bear could have been very introspective when it comes to like hibernating or understanding, reflecting. Is coming out. It's coming out of hibernation. Maybe very fixed. 3 of spirits. So 3 of wands. Something's moving forward. Our ships are coming in. Our efforts are being rewarded. 5 of feelings. 5 of cups. In the reverse. So in the past, we've experienced a lot of disappointment. And this could talk about that hesitancy, you know, that last minute, like I said, the family voice that gets in there. Oh my goodness, you guys. The right leg for both of these people have been in an accident. The right leg is definitely could be a metaphor here, okay? This one's missing. This one has a prosthetic foot, but it's like here. What is this? I'm just fascinated by your reading here. Here is missing. We have a cane. Here we have the prosthetic foot. I'm still being drawn back to this dress rehearsal because it's like, what happens if we lose our leg? Okay. God forbid. I'm just saying, like, if we did, it's like, oh, we could sit there being like, I don't have a leg. Like, I can't walk with one leg, like hobble and hop. Like it's kind of, you can't, you know, until you get the cane. It's like, I'll make do. And it's like this dress rehearsal is like, now I have this like in between where I had a cane and now I have this prosthetic foot or leg. And so there's stages here, and we could sit there with one leg and do nothing and accomplish nothing and listen to the family voice of fear and failure. Now I can't get anything done. Or we can work with whatever we have here in order to be successful and to make movement and to still achieve. I feel like there's something you're achieving here despite the handicaps. Okay, handicaps. I'm using that lightly, but I feel like we could either focus on the fact that I have no leg here, I'm at a disadvantage, and I won't even try, and keep looking at the disadvantage as to why it won't happen, or I could work with the universe here and see many ways of how this could work, because this is all about growth, movement, and expansion. It's also the card about like waiting for shifts to come in. And so what were we waiting for us to see something here? Maybe our own understanding to change. And I feel like there is this newfound understanding And maybe we weren't seeing it before. We were blocked to this about ourselves. We didn't see it. We were not in tune with the intuition. We didn't realize this because we were too focused on what didn't work here in some capacity. So we have the curiosity of feelings. This is the Page of Cups. Beautiful. So we have 2 pages. So we're learning. Page of Cups. Look how cute and innocent this beautiful page is. And look, we see the light and the dark. So the shadow needs to be integrated. I think you're battling your own shadow of something you didn't see in yourself that was limiting you and handicapping you and not allowing you to see the beauty and the progress and the reward and the abundance that could come to you and whatever. And I feel like you have an opportunity to do this and commit to something here. And this intuition with the High Priestess in reverse in this closed book, it's like we never got to experience or see the benefits of something ever. The growth of ourself in this area. It's like, but now I get to experience this, and this is slow and this is fast. So I don't know, maybe there's like, what I'm really getting is like, we might have this need for like control of this slowness, because it makes us feel very safe with the shadow. We've been consistent here with like the back end of the play or the cooking or whatever it was that we were doing. And then it's like when we go live, the fear is how fast this can go. And it's like, I think what Spirit is saying is like, we're not going to want to be sluggish and slow like this bear. I think you're going to want to just go fast here, because I do feel like you're going to see that this is actually in line with your best interest, and it's rewarding. And we want more, but we have to experience it so that we know. And then it's like, oh, on to the next play or on to the next meal. It's like, I love to cook. I love to sing. I love to dance. It's like, but we wouldn't know that if we kept saying, oh, I'm kind of hesitant to cook. I'm kind of hesitant to go on stage. And so we never do it. We have to go through this learning experience, you guys. And we might cut ourselves off at the knees. I think that's what we do. We sabotage, we cut ourselves off at the knees. I think we get to a certain point of growth and then we don't see how, or we don't listen. And this again is all about official commitment here to something. Alrighty. Yeah, look at this 10 of somatics, 10 pentacles. You're going to build to something here. This takes quite some time to build this empire. Look at this buffalo. The buffalo, very consistent, very solid, very grounded, stable. Slow like this grizzly bear. I think in your nature, you are very consistent, and I feel like you've been invested in something that's taken quite some time, and it's like very rewarding. Like I was telling you, I was really getting this lottery win. This is the lottery win, and the tarot here is like a windfall of something that builds over time that's very, very, very solid, stable. You could rely on it. And your door, is this a red curtain as well? No, it's a door. Oh my goodness, it's really giving me these curtains. Where is the other curtain? I feel like you guys, look at this. I'll put it in the order it came out. In order to receive, you're being asked, you're going to receive, okay? But it's going to be up to you, because if we never open the curtain, we don't receive. We let the shadow stand there in the back end of the curtain, but we might feel like we have to put ourselves out there, and putting us out there is like, okay, listen to your intuition, listen to the thing that maybe fears you or you don't see, because you can't see whether you're going to be successful or not, but Spirit's really saying, when you put yourself out there, it actually is a dress rehearsal. It's not like a do or die situation here. And I feel like once the door opens and you crack that open, and understand that it's a dress rehearsal, understand that you're getting to experience something here at an early stage of learning and growth. Okay, growth. It's a process, but it's like once you start to taste the reward here, I feel like then you see it, because you don't see it right now. All you see is what could go wrong and what has gone wrong and what might appear like a final chance. But it's like, no, don't cut it off at the knees. Open up that curtain. Okay? You're overwhelmed, burdened by what you don't see and the fears of what could happen, because I think in the past there was not a good experience. Look at this 10 pentacle. Like, wow, this is amazing here. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles in reverse. It's like I could lose it all. What if it doesn't work out? No. This is the mindset here, okay? And I think we've been very, very much in this mindset for too long, and we weren't seeing it or understanding it. And your blessing here is once you peel back that curtain and see that you're experiencing something here, to build this, you're going to be blessed. You're going to receive. You're going to see it. You're going to understand it. It's going to go fast. This is a beautiful adventure. This is a new beginning for you. New beginning, new beginning, new beginning, okay? But you got to be a sort of a player on the play, because these are pages. New beginnings involve you being a player in the play. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, this is totally the card of I don't try something, I avoid it, because what if it doesn't work out, and I'd rather just not do it and then it fail, and then that way I never sort of know, than do it and then fail and then be disappointed. And so it's like a form of sabotage. And look, he's in a wheelchair, you guys, and she's missing a foot, and this one has a cane. I feel it's a personal handicap here we're overcoming, personal handicap, a shadow, a disability of how we see something or don't see something or talk to ourselves that slows us down, that makes us feel challenged, that you're overcoming. It's a personal growth thing that you're overcoming, but it goes hand in hand with some form of a commitment and balance and some form of opening something up to be very rewarding. So I want to see what is this thing? I don't know, all you guys have a different form of commitment or a different form of blessing that comes in here, but with all these tears and this devil energy, I was feeling like you experienced something in the past that didn't feel good at all with the 5 Pentacles and the 5 Cups. It's your reality, it's been very disappointing. And now what's this thing? It might be very similar, I once performed on a play and I fell and it didn't work, and now this is the thing that we always see. Spirits, I'm going to keep this open. What is it that pile 1 needs to know about this blessing? Can we get some more either encouragement or guidance, or what is this blessing for pile 1? You got to show up for yourself on go live, and maybe we abandon ourselves when it's go live date. It's kind of what it seems like here. Spirits, what does pile 1 need to know about this? Maybe we don't feel supported. 5 of Wands, internal conflict, butting heads. Maybe we butt heads with a lot of people. We feel like we're on another page, or we have to compete. We have to fight to prove ourselves in some way here with this 5 of Wands. There's some form of resistance and conflict that we've experienced for sure. Experience of feelings. This is the Knight of Cups. So we'd rather just not express ourselves. We'd rather not explore the true way of how we feel. This is taking action on our feelings. I feel a lot of love towards creating this thing or going towards this, but I feel conflicted about it, and so I just won't move towards it. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, we block the new beginning rather than leaning into it and exploring it, because that would be go live. And Spirit's saying you're having a dress rehearsal here. And it's the opportunity to learn, to overcome this. And maybe we think, okay, it's the real deal. But it's like, yes, it's a real deal, because this dress rehearsal is still for that concert or that play. Okay, so it's the real deal, but I feel like you get a dress rehearsal, if that makes any sense. And maybe you were thinking like, oh, I got to go live and I'm going to drop the ball. I don't know. This keeps repeating myself, but this is really what I'm getting. Yeah, the star, look, getting your wish. Healing this inner conflict, healing this way about you. something you're destined to perform or to experience here. Beautiful. Starlight of hope, keeper of hope. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Aquarius energy. Two of feelings, 2 cups. This is relationship. This is being able to express ourselves and be open. You know, we see a masculine and feminine here with the duck. So this could be 2 aspects of self coming together. This could be how you engage in a relationship in order to show up here, because I do feel there's like an empty chair. Might be a lot of fear in expressing yourself here. Number 4, sovereign structure. Yeah, look at this Emperor. Okay, Aries energy, Emperor. It's like feeling empowered, feeling confident, taking action here. And we might not know like what's taking action and emotions, because the Emperor definitely has healthy emotions and he knows how to support and take action. But if we have one understanding of what confidence looks like, but we're disconnected from expressing our emotions or connecting to our emotions or standing by our emotions and conflicted, it's like it impedes our confidence. It impedes our ability to create structure, to commit, to like formally create something here. 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is the card of equal reciprocity, giving and receiving. Again, with this camel. This is like Saturn energy, like you've had to endure something or go a long time with something here. It takes a long, long, long time with the camel. But the camel also holds the reservoirs of water. So maybe you have a lot of internalized emotions really bottled up here. And so there's a need for there to be flow, for sure. And how do we do this? We have to be confident in expressing and showing ourselves. But I feel like we've been very conflicted. And so this is restricted commitment. The Ace of Pentacles can talk about a formal, solid commitment here, okay? This contract talks about commitment. There's something blocked here. Maybe there was a lot of fear of committing to other. Maybe there was a lot of conflict about how to express oneself, how to be confident, how to show up. So I'll hold back or I'll hold it in. And here we see this beautiful star of hope and healing and our wishes coming true, not blocked. There's the 2 swords, which we felt from here. So we sat on the fence. We were conflicted with their old version of us, the us that experienced pain, suffering with the 5 cups and the 5 pentacles, or moving forward. Maybe it's too fast, or maybe I'd have to confront my feelings and deal with truths. And so I sit here, but there's choices and consequences. So if we sit there in the old version, conflicted in the shadow, not seeing again, like I said, there's something about blocking. The High Priestess in reverse here, we weren't seeing or understanding clearly. We were really being led by shadow. So this blessing is talking about you seeing where you were stalemate, where you were stuck, where you were not sitting with truths, and your crown chakra or your intuitive self opening up so you could see this and take action on this and having a chance here. Look at the purple, like I said, listening to the intuition, being on stage here, not giving into fear. 3, sovereign's nature. Oh my goodness, we have the Emperor and the Empress. Some of you guys, this definitely could be a relationship. 2 cups. This could be, like I said, 2 parts of yourself, learning how to receive and give love to yourself, to be open here. Like I said, this was giving me Empress. Okay, Taurus, Libra energy. Then look, she's pregnant here. Okay, so we're birthing a beautiful commitment, a beautiful relationship, a beautiful partnership, a beautiful energy that isn't limited, that isn't cutting itself off at the knees, that's showing up here in a stable, practical way here that allows there to be equal reciprocity. Maybe where we were really withheld with emotions, we're able to give and share and experience love. We're not challenged here by our own thoughts or challenging, confronting other people, creating, this is like people don't see eye to eye. There's a lot of conflict, 2 pages, stalemate, an inability to move forward because we have to overcome obstacles. We might be really battling ourselves here, not seeing a way forward. And here we have complete clear vision. The Magician's introspection. No. The Magician's manifestation. Yeah, you're manifesting here wherever it was blocked. Whatever was blocked, you're overcoming. You're seeing it, and this brings in your wish. So for a lot of you guys, I do feel it's an internal self here that gets balanced in order for it to be able to give and receive love in relationship, whatever relationship is, working with people, working with a lover, being able to express self, not to be bottled up, not have to endure this desert where we feel like we can't experience softness and love, and we have to suffer in this desert, without resources. And yeah, like torturing ourselves here. We don't have to torture ourselves. We can now see, we can now experience, we now have confidence, and we don't need to block blessings. Like, don't block blessings. The curtain's about to open, and know what Spirit's talking about, this opportunity for you to learn with the pages and this dress rehearsal. It is a learning experience. This is the journey. This is the freedom. This is the adventure. Okay, it's liberating, it's freeing, it's your authentic self being able to express itself. And try Mom Spaghetti here, because there'll be forever an opportunity to cook more meals, different meals. And it's like, okay, well, last time it was too sweet. Maybe I'll add less sugar. Or, I don't know, it was too salty. I'll not, like we can adjust, but we have to try and experience something here. I mean, we don't have to, but I feel like there's this inability to experience at all, and then we get stunted, which we're overcoming. We're being free to this, and you're close to land, which means you're almost at this point of it becoming balanced, you seeing this light, you committing to something here, okay, like seeing very clearly. And I do feel it's very joyous, and it's very much aligned with your destined vision of what you want to attain for yourself, which I feel is very beautiful. All right, so gorgeous angels, this is your reading. How fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing with me. I love you very much, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, sweet angels. Pile number 2, you guys picked the White Sage bundle. I can't wait to get into your reading. I love these next blessing readings so much when they come through, because I can't wait. So obviously I don't want to deliver any false hope or any sort of messaging here that's not for you. Okay, so I do ask that you use your intuition, which you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this is your pile or not. Only you'll know. Okay, so best ways to ask Spirit what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this is your pile, and go through this card layout to tap into your intuition. If you are in tune with your intuition, you can go straight away to the channeled message. Okay, and yeah, let's take a look at this blessing that's coming through for you next. Okay, we have repetition. Repetition. Okay, I see a bunch of wild horses here, somebody holding their head. And look at the moon cycles. So moon cycles could be important, or maybe we've had, repetition. That's many months. Is it the same thing we're repeating? Are we doing cycles here? I don't know. Moon can talk about fears and emotions and subconscious and feminine energy. Let's see. We have this bee and this honeycomb. One bee, again, there was one bee in pile 1. One of the cards, it could be connected here, but a worker bee. So we've been consistently repeating something. You know how the bee, it is a very repetitious sort of effort, but then at the end, it creates this big hive of sorts. So is your repetitiveness leading to something? Maybe it is leading to something. You don't see it. You've just been sort of doing it blindly, not seeing in the confusion of the moon, or maybe fearing, is this leading to anything? Is this building to anything? Yeah, but I feel there's a diligence here. Okay. Oh my goodness. So what is this? A bunch of people. Are they? I don't know. At first it looked like they were going down a roller coaster because they were all putting their hands up in the air. Are they celebrating something? And it looks like this person has a microphone in this person's face. I don't know. Can you see this? But why is the microphone on their nose? Oops. What is this? Someone like speak. Give us your reaction. But everyone's celebrating, but this one person. What? That's very interesting. Let's see. Oh, you know how sometimes, I don't know if this is the case, but sometimes like when you see live news reports, it's like if they're at a party, it's like there's people wanting attention in the background, but then like someone's getting interviewed. Interesting. A microphone could be talking about a need to say something or express something, explain something. Beautiful. So we have two hands holding this plant. So this could talk about a new opportunity with this plant budding here. Still fragile, potentially, still needing nurturing. Let's keep going. We have Angel of Love. Oh my goodness, 49. So number 13 could talk about transformation. Angel of Love. Beautiful feminine energy with all this pink. Self-love, angelic love. And we have contradiction 21. And a key. Keys can talk about answers and solutions. We see pomegranates, contradiction. So I'm kind of getting that energy I was talking about, like I'm not seeing anything, fear of this, but the contradicting energy would be it's actually building to something, but it seems like insanity, doing the same thing seems insane, but the contradiction here is it's building to something. I don't know. 21, number 3. This one's an interesting one. Forest Temple Enlightenment. Oh, wow. Yeah. 19 is sun. That is definitely enlightenment, consciousness. We see like a, what is that called? I don't know. What are those things called? A temple of sorts? Yeah. Forest temple. And there's a lot of light inside of this thing. The forest, again, could be navigating and getting lost. There's something about getting lost and not seeing, It's not clear in a forest. We don't know, like, are we going in the right direction? Are we getting lost on an adventure? In the nighttime, it's very dark. Like certain things can appear different. Like animals could be threatening, and then in the daytime, it's like bright. But either way is like, what sort of forest are we walking here? Enlightenment. Okay. Leo energy, masculine energy with the 19th. Here we have thicket of thorns with uncertainty. Yeah, this is just what we were talking about. We could get hurt when we get stuck in like a pathway of thorns. Beautiful deer talks about the innocence. Butterflies, transformation, liberation. 43 could be a significant number. With the number 7. 7 is about faith and wisdom, reflection and understanding. So that's all internal. Like if the world out there is all full of thorns and scary darkness and all this, it's like I have to rely on my faith. I have to rely on reflecting on understanding and wisdom rather than what I'm seeing out here. Okay. Shoes, 11. 11, spiritual number, a master number, divine inspiration, the synchronicity, and this is the encouragement to keep going. So repetition, building something that seems like it's not building to something. But look at these shoes have angel wings. Divinely guided. We're being divinely guided through like the unknown. We could get lost or we could listen to our intuition and be sort of led. But if we resist or we get fearful, we don't let the angel wings sort of walk us through because we could sit at the mouth of the forest too scared to go in. And look at this beautiful pink. Oh my goodness, how beautiful is this? Self-love. She's being guided by love. She's being guided by self-love. She has a lot of self-love, and now she's going through this uncertainty or this thorny, scary forest, being guided through this thing. And look at the blue, which to me, blue was throat chakra, and we were feeling like someone was supposed to express something. She's embodying self-expression. Okay, what's this about? Yeah, look, now we have somebody with a pencil expressing self, but through writing, through contemplation, through reflection. That's that number 7 energy again. It's like through wisdom and reflection and understanding, I can pinpoint my thoughts and reflect upon what I want to say or how I'm feeling. But there's a lot of pondering and specifically thinking about what it is we want to communicate, or authentic expression here. Are we getting airtime to speak about it? I don't know. These people seem annoying. They're all loud back here. Gathering around the power of community. Look at these people, like I just said, they seem loud and they're all there. Gathering around the power of community. So maybe it's like all these people are like supporting her to talk about it. The frick, more butterfly energy. Fairies, 26, or the number 8. More Leo energy, heavy Leo in this pile. Also Cancer energy I'm feeling here. And Scorpio. Okay. Violet. Oh my goodness. Spirituality, wisdom, and humility. So wisdom was definitely coming through with that moon energy and sitting with the intuition and all this purple. Violet energy, spirituality, humility. Okay. Wow. There was a lot of purple in pile 1 as well. Here drawn. Yeah, wisdom. Wisdom. The owl definitely talks about wisdom. I'm getting Queen of Swords energy here. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Through an understanding. And this isn't like through the brain of the intellect, like I always say, like we can intellectualize things conceptually, or we can have an experience and understand a wisdom upon reflection and experience, which could come through the intuition. So something here about this experience and the wisdom to know and understand and reflect. Does this need to be planted? Maybe it's being transplanted someplace else, because look, it's in the hand. So it needs a pot. It needs a structure. So it could either go in the land or go in a pot, or like it needs a container. And you know how feminine energy is sort of very fluid. It needs a container. And masculine energy is like the container here. I'm feeling a lot of feminine fluid energy, and I don't feel any real masculine energy here yet. But this plant, in order to grow, and it needs to be planted now. But does it need a container? No. It could be planted in the earth. Maybe it came out of a container. Fascinating. What do we have here? Wife. Look at more feminine energy. But the wife is like, has duties, if you will, right? Because a wife is committing to a certain role or an identity, or she has to consider the family, the children, her husband. There's like responsibilities here. Here she's wearing yellow, which is solar plexus energy. The wife, feminine energy. Wife, okay. And this child could be the beginning of something, a maturity level of something. This was a new growth. And we have the leopard. This card sometimes comes out when I read this, but I do want to get the book. See, what is this leopard about? Sorry, this deck is still fairly new to me, and I don't know what this leopard is talking about. Making decisive decisions. Oh, interesting. It's like backwards here. Okay, so it says, adorned with its beautiful and distinctive spots, the leopard moves through the jungle. With a potent and agile presence, it symbolizes strength and courage, capturing the essence of the untamed wilderness. The leopard's inspiring demeanor encourages us to be bold and resolute in pursuing our goals and making decisive decisions with unwavering confidence. Call on the leopard to bolster your courage. and help you make decisions that propel you towards your aspirations. Tapping into the leopard's energy and support allows you to trust your instincts, even in uncertainty. There seemed like a lot of uncertainty here, you guys, with the moon and not knowing and intuition. Embracing the leopard's guidance can provide a sense of direction, helping you navigate the forest, when to act stealthily and move forward confidently. With the leopard's guidance, you can move towards your goals and clarity and determination. Leopard encourages you to be fearless in your pursuit of success and trust your abilities to make sound decisions. It is easy to get bogged down in indecision and doubt. When self-doubt resides within, so does its light counterpart, confidence. When there is one, there is the other. Yes, the leopard reminds you that you have the power within you to make bold choices and pursue your goals with confidence. Leopard is a powerful familiar that represents strength, courage, and grace in the form of leadership. Wow. With its unique and striking spots, the leopard moves through the jungle with a fierce presence that inspires confidence and determination in those who call upon it. Leopard can help you lead a team and find the words and motivation that help others. Trust your guidance and leadership skills. Look at this. You're doing something here that's actually leading others that you don't realize. Trust yourself and your instinct, even when the path ahead is uncertain. Yes, be fearless in your path and your pursuit of success, and trust your ability to make things happen. When things don't go as planned, know you have the agility and courage to learn from your experiences and adapt your situation with earned wisdom and experience. Leopard teaches you to see new opportunities and to pounce when the moment feels right. Oh my goodness. It reminds you that success often comes to those willing to take risks and make bold moves. With the leopard as your guide, you can trust in yourself and move forward with strength and grace. Yeah, we could definitely lose ourselves if we're intimidated, but we need a lot of strength and self-love in order to be confident in our ability to make decisions through, and there goes my email confirming, through the intuition. But it's not a clear path here, but grace and confidence. And I feel like you doing this, speaking your truth somehow, is like an inspiration here to others. Okay. Are you doubting yourself? Maybe. Awareness. This is this enlightenment awareness, because essentially enlightenment is a greater sense of awareness. Consciousness, we now see, we're awakened, we can see clearly because we've overcome the fear or the shadow self that tries to distort reality. 7 again. 7, faith, wisdom, reflection, and understanding. Chariot energy, integration of shadow. Cancer energy. And what do we have? Caution. So we have Mercury in Virgo with the number 6. Caution. Uncertainty. I have lots of questions. Pile number 2. You do too. What is this? Let's see. I'm going to channel this. Okay, you can click on the timestamp, and we'll probably get more with the tarot. Let's see. Okay. Pile number 2, I have a lot of questions. Some of this is clear. Okay, I don't know why we're seeing it, because this is about the next blessing coming in for you. Okay, so Spirit knows what it's sort of talking about. So like I say, some of this is very clear. Some of this I still have question, which could come clear with the tarot, or it could just be clear to you and not to me. I don't know, but I'm going to peel this back. So hang in there. Okay, now like I say, strongest energy pulls through. So this could be your energy or someone around you. I don't know. You decide what is what. Okay, but I'm going to read this as your energy. So I feel a beautiful feminine energy here, of an intuitive divine feminine here who is walking through uncertainty. Really, this path of uncertainty is an experience of developing wisdom. This wisdom is an innate wisdom that we can carry forever once we go through experience. And experience isn't always pleasant. Experience could sometimes seem very threatening, and we don't know what we're going to see. And so we could sort of listen to the fears and get completely discombobulated, or we could say this might appear as though it's a threat or threatening, but I know that maybe a lot of my fear might be sort of feeding into this thing. And so there's a fine balance between like walking through experience and being very hesitant and listening to fear, and figuring that out could be very, very, very scary because there's so much uncertainty. It's like, I don't know, and I don't trust myself so much because I don't have strong ability to know for sure, and when we don't know for sure, we're making judgment calls. That's scary for anyone. How do we make judgment calls when it could be way off, when we don't know for sure, and there could be a threat, and it could be very devastating and scary, and like all of this seems so like crazy, And so I feel like you're navigating an unknown. There is no clarity here, but Spirit's saying it's like this, designed on purpose for you to get a state of enlightenment and awareness, because this is developing self-character, I guess, if you will, that's really around trusting your ability to be in self-love first and foremost. Okay, but what does that look like, self-love? I'm just going to go and pamper myself and hang out with my friends and do what I want. Choose me first. No. Self-love is really about an innate cultivation of how our relationship works within ourselves to intimately develop this over time, the growth of self and the relationship with self that comes from a very confident place. And over time, it develops into something very strong because we trust our intuition. We know when it's fear. We know when we're being guided by spirit. We know how to trust our own words and our voice. This develops over time. It's not an overnight. I feel like there's a voice within you of some truth that is developing here. Okay, now I say voice. It doesn't literally have to be, there's something you need to say. It's like your authentic expression. Your energy needs to be voiced out to the world. And there's this like mature version of you that exists somewhere in some timeline that is being called down in order for you to call upon this strength. This takes a lot of going through experience that doesn't always feel pleasant. And so with this big fat contradiction here, I feel like we might be experiencing things that really, really are throwing doubt in the way, and things that make us feel not lovable. And it has to be this way with this contradiction because there's like the dark and the light. In order for you to know what light is, we have to experience darkness. Now, this isn't saying put yourself in situations that are like completely, like putting you completely upside down in a way here that puts your life in danger. But this is an upside downness, because this is a heavy discomfort, and we have to have the heavy discomfort to see what the opposite is. It's not good, and it doesn't feel good, and it feels very threatening. But what Spirit's talking about here is like, what's the bigger fear is the uncertainty or the projection of the fear, or the, it's like the fears are bigger than the actual thing itself. And so are you really in danger? No. But we could really see this as big danger because it's like, I'm seeing it in this way. So it becomes your reality. You project what you see and experience, and it doesn't diminish your experience. You're still having an experience, but how are you engaged in that experience? Because I'll tell you one thing. I don't even talk like that. Don't ask who I say. I tell you one thing. I'll tell you something. Here, listen up. If you were to experience this experience with a matured version of yourself or a more developed version of yourself, this exact experience, it would go completely different. And that's what Spirit's telling you. It's like that experience is that experience in reality, whatever reality you're experiencing. Okay. But your experience and your strength and your ability to navigate is solely specific to you and your level of growth and your level of maturity and your level of development and your level of awareness and your level of really, when it comes down to it, is like this energy of being enlightened. When we're in a higher state of consciousness, okay, meaning we have more awareness, we have more vast space in order to see reality as it is. It softens down anything that might look uncertain or threatening, because we have this innate strong quality to not give into the fear or to start to project that it could be more dangerous than it is. And so we can navigate a lot more smooth. But I feel like whatever you're navigating here could feel very, very threatening, confusing, dark. And the contradiction here is that it really isn't, because I think it's blessing you. And the blessing here is something that, again, once developed, can never be taken away. This experience here is setting you up for success for the rest of your life. This innate ability to be intuitively smart, to lean on an internal wisdom, an internal strength, an energy here that is so interwoven into who you are. The roots of who you develop to be here is your strength. You're being transformed into this version of person throughout this journey and this experience. And I feel like you don't realize that you're actually being seen, and you're an inspiration here to people around you, communities around you, specific people that might be on the same sort of experience. And this is building to something that is very lucrative and very secure here. But I feel like it's a solo journey, it feels, because no one can really remove these fears or implant self-love and confidence in you. This is something that comes, and the confidence really is confidence in my ability to trust myself to make decisions aligned for the greatest and highest good without letting my fears get in the way. And this comes from self-love and not giving in to emotional body that might seem discombobulated or uncertain or unclear. And so I feel like over time with this repetition, this is how it develops, because I feel like saying, I'll tell you one thing again, I'll tell you one thing. Where's that coming from? Oh my God, Spirit, it's too funny. I'll tell you one thing. Okay. We might feel like we're going crazy. And this might be coming to you at a very specific time. It's like, Spirit, I'm going fucking crazy. It's like living Groundhog's Day again. But like, imagine this plant. If we're looking at it from like every day, like we get very discouraged, right? Because it's like repetitive. Like I keep seeing the same fucking green little sprout. It's like blah, blah, blah. And it seems repetitive, but look at its growth. So if we come back, like, I don't know, however many weeks later, it's like, wow, it had a growth spurt. And sometimes the plant, if you have a child, you'd know, or a garden, it's like overnight. Sometimes there's like this growth spurt and you're like, holy, are you the same plant? You know, you never know. You never know how it goes, because it's very specific to that plant, specific to the nurturance, specific to the time. It's like, it's very unique. And so I feel like this is the same plant as it was when it was a little sprout. It had all the essence within that seed to grow to this. And maybe it's a beautiful tree, you know, maybe it's a fucking huge tree here, but it goes through this. And so you're going through something here that seems like we keep looking at the seed or the sprout or the sprout or the sprout. And so then that's that fear and the uncertainty. And it's like, oh my goodness, like, am I crazy here to think that this little seed, because we've never been told or shown or grew a garden before. And if it's our first time, it's like, oh my goodness, like I didn't know it was going to grow to this, or I didn't see that it was something solid or whatever. And I feel like Spirit is really talking about, you're not going to see it when you're looking at one small little section of it, but when you're going to see it overall, it's going to be understood by you. Okay, but it needs space to grow. And I feel like maybe this is time for it to get planted. And I think that it's time for this thing to get planted so that its roots can take, because maybe it's been, you know, capable of sort of sitting, I don't know, in a container that it's outgrown, because it looks to me like this plant's outgrown some form of container. Okay. And so like I talk about, the container is masculine energy, whereas like the watery energy is feminine. And so maybe there was some structure where that held this thing, and we're seeing wife here, you know, so maybe there was like some structure, some situation, because wife would indicate that there's like an established system a husband, maybe some kids, a family, a structure. And I feel like she's now needing to be rooted outdoors or something like this. Okay, I don't know how this is sort of playing into this. We'll see with the tarot, but I feel like there's like something that is being grown over time, just exactly like this thing, you know, like the little bud here, like one of these little hive circles. I don't know, whatever hell this is. It's like, it means nothing, but the structure of it is the strength. Over time is the strength. Yeah, over time is the strength of the structure. So you're building something or you're experiencing something that the true strength is the reward over the time of whatever this is. And it could be very discouraging, especially when we just have one or two and we don't see it. And it's like, it seems maddening because I'm doing the same thing over and over and over. But at the end, wow, how fascinating. If you look at this like beehive, it's like when you really look at it, like, whoa, how does Mother Nature do this thing, you know? And it's perfect and it creates this thing. And I don't know, it's like miracle. And like you can't even explain it. It's just a miracle from God that happens naturally, but it happened. So we see here power of community. I really feel like there is you having a world around you that could certainly be, again, looking up to you or supported from your experience, or that you're able to pull from or lean into, where you might feel like you are alone or you have to sort of do it alone, which isn't necessarily true. And so there's a need to recognize who around you can you sort of pull in as support throughout a period where I do feel you feel like you're building it alone, navigating by yourself. And so I'm being thrown back to this forest of uncertainty and fear and shadow and darkness. If we were walking with someone else, it's not as scary, right? But I mean, the dark forest is still the dark forest. The uncertain things are still there. The bears, the foxes, the owls are all still in the forest. But with someone else, it kind of feels a little bit better. And Spirit's saying there are other people here around you that could make it feel a bit better. But it doesn't necessarily matter so much because you're still having to navigate through this scary forest and build it sort of on your own. And going through, like I said, that contradiction, which is you have to sort of experience the fears of it in the worst in order to appreciate the best of it. But you're being divinely guided. Like this is definitely, we're all divinely guided, by the way, but this seems very, very much being called and pulled by the divine to walk through this uncertain time of darkness and fear in order for us to see and become aware of something here. And so this is building your confidence, your trust. Now, this is humility. This was talking about grace. I feel like, again, there's that fine line. Because if we suddenly give into the fear or whatever, and it's like we can embody a certain energy to get through it, you know? It's like we embody something. It's like at my worst, it's like I got to embody this energy. And then we forget about the other energies here, which, by the way, humility and grace are very much needing to come back to sort of reality, if you will, or like keeping it in a space of like remembering that this forest isn't going to eat me up based on the experience. Okay, like a forest could if there's dangerous animals here. But I feel like this is all in the mind. This is all getting lost in the mind story and the projection and the uncertainty and getting lost in the what is intuition and what is fear, and Spirit's saying, like, don't get lost in that. There's nothing here of danger. The worst danger is really yourself. Okay, so we got to keep it back to this sort of wisdom. It's all this spiritual journey, this spiritual, this is highly spiritual, highly divinely guided. It's a path of awareness and enlightenment, wisdom, while remaining humble, graceful. And it's like this caution is reminding us to keep sort of coming back to this place. Yeah, because, you know, when we're like, hear the fear or see it, we can like really get triggered and we could sort of be a little less cautious. because the fear gets really loud. So again, this fine line. And like, this is very still growing. You got to be cautious, or cautious. What is it called? Careful. So you gotta present with a lot of caution when you replant this thing, because you can ruin its root, you can break its branch. Like, it's still very fragile here. So there's a need to be gentle. There's a need to understand this in a way that supports this. So if you haven't supported yourself, if you're like, oh, I hate this uncertainty, I hate this lack of clarity, I hate not seeing the build, I hate the time it's taking, and we're like really looking at the things that we don't like, it's not giving this beautiful, like, helpful support that it needs. It needs caution, it needs support, it needs trust, it needs space to really be understood and contemplated and reflected on, not rushed through. Like, Spirit doesn't want you to rush through this forest, and didn't learn anything. It's like, I just want to get through the other end already. It's like, okay, but have we really sat with the self-love? Have we really understood the lessons? Have we really reflected on the parts that we were needing to really reflect upon? And that sort of thing, and Spirit knows, like, what good is this for? Like, because we could be saying, Spirit, what good is this for that I'm left in this dark forest? Just want to get to the other side already. And Spirit's like, I know why you're in this dark forest. And it's all about contemplation, reflection, awareness, reaching state of enlightenment where you could see the beauty of yourself. But we got to put you sort of in this darkness, or we got to put you in this sort of process, because process of growth looks like a process of growth. We can't bypass it. And I feel like, I don't know, there's like you sort of being some form of inspiration or speaking some great truth, having gone through this experience that is absolutely honest and true, but we kind of go through the frustration here, and yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's kind of crazy here. So the blessing, I feel, is going to be understood by you. And there's a need to just let the experience flow, so that you'll see what this beautiful final result is here. Okay, the final result of what you've built yourself up to be. So let's see. Spirit, for pile number 2. Pile number 2 is blessing. What is this blessing? Because it seems like this seems to you almost like anything but a blessing, but it really is a blessing. It's a blessing in building our self-confidence and our trust. And like I said, like trusting our intuition and our wisdom and going through this spiritual growth. It is a huge blessing. We might not see it this way at all, and we might have to play some form of a role, or maybe we want to play a role here, and Spirit's like wanting us to contemplate on what role do we play, what role do we think we're playing, and what is the truth of who we are. Because those are all, could be definitely different things, and it could contradict itself. You might think you're like have to play a role or be a specific thing in the world, and Spirit's saying, like, maybe no, maybe not. Become aware of who you truly are. But you got to find it from the inside out here. So let's see. Pile number 2 is blessing. Spirit, what is this blessing for pile number 2, coming towards pile 2? Blessing for pile 2. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. What is this next blessing for pile 2? So we have surrendered perspective. Yeah, hangman. So like I said, we're seeing this as maybe a threat. It's not good. I want to get to the end. And it's like Spirit saying, once we change how we see, how we reflect on something and understand something and see it from a different perspective, a more enlightened perspective, a more ascended, a broader range of consciousness, it impacts us differently. That's what we're being guided to do here. I think you might be sort of getting in your own way with your own thoughts and what you think this might mean. And no, don't trip up over yourself, okay? So this is all about the intuition as well. The hangman, Pisces energy. What's this big blessing? Definitely it's working on how you see yourself and how you see life. I feel like you're on a path of enlightenment and awareness here. Yeah, beautiful. Seven of Pentacles. Again, look how long this is taking. Long, long, long. When will it grow? When will it grow? We can't see the results. Our nose is to the grindstone. It's too close to seeing the fruit. When it's in this stage, it doesn't grow fruit. Okay, but again, with the 11, we were feeling here, it's like being given this divine gift of keep going, this inspiration to keep going. 8 of Cups. So this is walking away. Do we feel like walking away? Are we emotionally dissatisfied by something? Are we being encouraged to walk away from what's emotionally dissatisfying? I think so. And we see the wolf, which is all about what? Our independence. You know, but again, wolf pack. There's community, power in community. So we need to learn our own independence and when we need to rely on others. And I think this might be what we're doing. Some things we got to do alone and some things we do with others. And if we're really used to, you know, doing it with others or some form of structure, because I'm really feeling here, like maybe you have an understanding of yourself, you know, I am a wife, okay, would be an example. It doesn't have to be a wife, but some form of who you are, some identity. And so you live your life this way. And Spirit's saying, no, you could be wife, but you could also be daughter, you know, or like you could also be independent backpacker across Asia, but you see yourself as wife. And so what sort of limitations are we putting ourselves in when we are being asked to see ourselves from this hangman perspective? Because whatever doesn't emotionally fulfill us is what we're being called to walk away from. And we need to know when we're independent, like the solo wolf, and when are we sort of working with a community to build something here. We got to know the difference through walking the journey. So we have the integration of somatics. So this is the King of Pentacles, the big moose, larger than life. King of Pentacles, Cancer, or sorry, I don't know, I said Cancer. Interesting. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Why is the King of Pentacles here? So that's building something for the future, reliable, stable, committed, grounded, practical. Why is this Hangman here? A surrendered perspective. Yeah, even the way it's a surrendered perspective, it's like you're being asked to surrender to this outlook. And we might be resisting and fighting. This is how I always see it. This is how I see this threat. This is how I see myself. This is who I am. Those are all causing suffering. You're being asked to surrender. Surrender to a perspective that you have no idea about. Then you will see the light here. Okay, Sage of Support. Yeah, look at this Hierophant. I don't know, I keep pointing to wife. Something about how you see yourself in the world. And you're being asked to consider a different point of view of this thing. Because I think you're really attached to your vision of who you think you need to be, or what society says is your identity. This is my religion. This is my function. This is my identity. Is it? Who's the I? Who does that belong to? If we have that strong sense of I, we're still living in ego. There is no I. There's just essence and pure awareness and being. And so I feel like we're being called to challenge your perspective. And there's something here about commitment with this Hierophant and this King of Pentacles, father energy. Let's see. Why is this 7 Pentacles and 8 of Cups here? The Moon. So again, you were in moonlight here. Lots of questions, lots of fears, not seeing clearly, because at night things could be very threatening and they might appear one way, but they're really another, and we don't know. And so both these cards talk about the intuition. We're guided by the intuition. Sometimes we let the fear and the emotion take action. And it's like, where is that coming from? Where are those emotions being pulled from? Why is this King of Pentacles here, Spirit? The 6 of Spirit. This is the 6 Wands in reverse. Okay, your message is actually very clear here. 6 of Wands in reverse, and then we have the 2 of Pentacles. And under the 2 Pentacles, we have the Knight of Pentacles, experience of somatics. Okay. With the grizzly bear. Slow and steady wins a race, consistent over time. I need to choose, prioritize. Okay. Beautiful angel. Take what resonates here for you, okay? And apply this to your situation. I feel like whatever journey you're on, like I talked about, it's going to be whatever you attribute to it, period, end of story. If you have one understanding, and it is one that is really infusing the fear, and it's really mind identified, I'm identified with that story of who I am and what this is and what this means. You're identified with that. And that creates a result of either fear, doubt, challenge, conflict. Okay. And when we're not mind identified, we broaden our scope of our awareness. And so we start to be more open to what reality actually is showing us. So we start to see things differently. I am no longer fixated or under my understanding of what it means to be committed to this sort of belief system of what everyone else in my community said that I need to be or need to do. And now this doesn't mean my values are completely out the window. This just means now I'm contemplative. I'm now considering, I'm now seeing it from a greater perspective to consider it. Is this really me? Is this a part of something that I want to engage with? Are my fears legitimate? Or am I really just used to being attached to who I thought I had to be or what people were telling me that I had to do or be or say? Spirit's really talking about the emotions could be really fired up when we're still attached to identity and mind. This doesn't mean that your emotions are false. Your emotions are always accurate, 100%, always. Okay, but your emotions are never talking about your current situation in the present moment, ever. Your emotions are always pulled upon based on a thoughts that you're having, whatever mind story or mind identification you have of what you're telling yourself. And that triggers your emotion. And so if I tell myself something that I believe, I start to feel fear about this because the thought is real, the belief is real, the identity is real. Or I might start to feel angry, or I might start to feel however I feel. It's very intense. And so I might feel emotionally unhappy. Okay, but by that thought. And so I might think, I got to walk away from this thing. I'm emotionally not happy. And Spirit's saying, yes, you're emotionally not happy, or you're emotionally dissatisfied, or emotionally feeling fear, confusion, doubt, uncertainty. Could be a thing. But Spirit's challenging you to see, where's this coming from? It's not your current situation. It's not. Or is it? Now we got to find out and we got to contemplate. But I feel like it's not, because I feel like Spirit's really talking about you're identified with some hierophant structure way of who you think you are identifying with, and you're being called to challenge this. So this journey, this experience that you're guided on is providing some awareness to you, and it's been slow and you haven't seen any sort of real fruits, if you will, and you're getting discouraged. Emotionally, it's not giving me fruit. Emotionally, this, that, and the other, which could be true in theory. You could say, well, a fruit's a fruit, and if I don't see it here, there's no fruit. It's like, okay, but this isn't what this is about. This is all about the contemplative process of deep understanding, so we could see things from a different perspective and intimately understand ourselves, so we could build our self-love, our self-confidence, our self-trust in our intuition, in our ability to make decisions, in our confidence, in our independence. This is what this is about. Not about what I can build, what fruit is here now. Is this person committing to me or not? What sort of future is this? Is this a reliable situation or not? The proof's in the pudding. I don't see reliability. I don't see what I'm trying to see here. It's like, no, and you won't. You won't, because that's not what this is about. And so I feel like you feel defeated. I feel like you feel not seen. Is that a man? No, that's a woman. Looks like a man. I look like a man. Anyway, I don't know that you feel successful here. I feel you failed. I feel you feel unseen. I feel you feel however you feel, and you're right, have a right to feel this way. And Spirit's coming through with this. You don't need to feel that way. You're choosing to feel that way. But we got to become unmind identified, and we got to kind of go a little broader here, okay? We can't, like I always say, like be in the mind in order to debunk the mind and be navigating in the mind with more stories of the mind. We got to understand when we're in thought. And the only way to do this is to have more awareness. Okay, this is a state of enlightenment when we can detach from the mind and completely find the centered peace that isn't pulling our emotions based on a trigger, okay, a trigger of some conditioning and some programming. And so I feel like this is all about shedding the ego, okay, because maybe we feel like we're really on the yo-yo. Our life is dependent on what's happening in front of us, and it's up and down and up and down. And we feel at the mercy of this swinging pendulum. And we don't have to be, because I feel like you want it to be stable. You want it to be reliable. You want it to be consistent. You want it to be grounded. You want it to be solid. You want it to be committable, you know? And it's like, this is the opposite. It's like up, it's down. You never know. It's not providing you with steadiness. And you're like, I don't want any of this. This is uncertainty. I want certainty. I want solidness. I want reality. I want. And Spirit's saying, you're in your mind. Never mind what you want. You'll get what you want. But you don't need to go through this turbulent experience as longer than you need to. But why you're experiencing the turbulency is because you're being really called to see this sort of lesson of life, if you will, the school lesson. You're building something here. Okay, but the reason for this journey and this build is all about yourself, your own independence, and knowing when you can rely on people, questioning the Hierophant in your world and why it is that you sort of believe and attach to certain stories of who you have to be or what you think you are. You're very much mind identified. And I feel like your emotions are the things that are being like sort of like really being pulled at here, you know? And so we're learning to trust with our eyes closed, our intuition, and we're learning to detach from a lot of what is feeling emotionally pulled to make decisions when it doesn't need to be. Now, this doesn't mean you suppress your emotions, reject emotions, or say they're not true, or say, there I go again, I'm emotional. No, it's like, there I go again. I feel my emotions. It's pulling on me. It's making me feel this yo-yo of sorts. And it's like, okay, sit there, look at this, see how you're seeing it, sit with your intuition. Why is it making you feel the way that it feels here? It's not saying don't do it. It's saying, great, feel what you feel, but know that it's not your circumstance that's making you feel this way. Because the natural conclusion is to look more into that situation, look more into what's in front of us, the uncertainty. Why is the situation not producing? Why is the situation I keep investing? Why is the situation, and we keep giving the situation so much credence? It's like, no, it's not situation. Yes, the situation isn't producing. Yes, there's a lot of uncertainty. That's true. But why it's happening is, again, your need to see the situation differently from a real organic, innate way of seeing it and beliefs, and deconstructing the Hierophant, the stories and the conditioning. But we have to get into the weeds of it. We don't just suppress it and say, I don't think like that no more. I can't think like that no more. I'm going to avoid thinking like that no more. It's like, no, go into the weeds of it. Really think about why you think how you think. Why do you feel that way? Who's made you think this? Is this really true, or is this something you always thought to be true? Okay, but I feel it's triggered by an emotional dissatisfaction, but it isn't your circumstance. I feel like something's going on in the surface that's emotionally unfulfilling for you. And so it's triggering you and making you very uncomfortable. Okay, and so the blessing here is you get to experience enlightenment. You get to experience what it's like to shed egos. You get to experience self-strength, love, and crystal clear vision when it comes to your intuition, reflection, understanding, self-mastery over emotions, building this hive over time as well, because I do feel you're building something. But I do feel like Spirit wants you to know, when can you build a self and when can you utilize community, because there is a difference. And we might not know the difference, and we might be like, I need people to walk through the forest with me. I need community. What do you mean you need? Do you need it? Is this something you need, or is this something you're learning to do independent so that you could build your inner strength? Because community doesn't go away. Community will be there when you need it. But right now, this is a self journey of exploration, understanding, walking through uncertainty, and not running because we're fearful of the unknown, and experiencing the paradoxical, again, contradiction but not like feeding into that. Oh man, I'm experiencing the opposite here, so it must be true. It's like, no, you're experiencing the opposite of this contradiction so that you can see reality. You're being given crystal clear vision here. This is what you're being given. You're being given enlightenment. You're being given intuition. You're being given clarity, awareness, self-strength, self-love, innate ability to rely on self. Like, what a beautiful blessing here. And you're building something beautiful here over time. That's going to take time. Okay. But then it's like, no one can take away my confidence. No one can take away this strength that I have, because it's again, integrated into who you are, built authentically, not based on a belief that can get just washed away. You know, like a Hierophant here could get just washed away. Yes, the Hierophant here is lessons, but I feel like deeper than this, like sort of more man-made lesson. It's like a spiritual lesson that runs very deep into your authentic self and the essence of who you are. It's not something that could be sort of told to you or understood in a book. It's only through the school of experience do you gain this insight. You know, this is true wisdom. It's not what I always thought it was. It's not, I believe it's so true because I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. And that's the thing with like religion. It's like, do you have unwavering faith through belief? Belief in the mind. And it's like, I don't doubt these people are very much have belief, and belief could do wondrous things, you know, but that's all in the mind. This is transcending mind. This is an experience where we're really being guided through a spiritual inner direct experience of an inner knowing. That's completely different. It can't be taught, read, handed down. It's innately experienced through a journey. And now the wisdom of the heart, the wisdom of spirituality, the wisdom of the intuition, the wisdom of this whole journey, however long it's taking, creates who you are. You can't unsee it. Once you're enlightened, once you see it, once you have awareness of it, it doesn't go away ever, you know? And so this is the journey you're on. But Spirit is saying, like, take note, when something's emotionally dissatisfying, don't just default to the Hierophant and say, it's not happy, so I'm going to go where it is happy, you know, or I'm automatically going to kick and scream or create some form of resistance or address it or acknowledge it in some way. It's like, well, no, first of all, okay, now I'm never telling you to stay in an emotionally dissatisfying situation, but first of all, reflect. Why is it emotionally dissatisfying? Is this a Hierophant thought that's been handed down to you? Is there something else going on in the subconscious? Is there more truth? Are we just fearful of the uncertainty? You know, that's what you're being questioned to do. Because I feel like something isn't working out or panning out. And I feel you feel unsuccessful or unseen. And it's really because it's asking you to shed the ego. The egoic self, the subconscious self, the fearful self, the uncertain self, the self that lacks confidence in the intuition and the blind knowing. You're developing that. Okay? So pile number 2, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. It's a beautiful, beautiful gift. Not everyone goes on this spiritual journey of enlightenment and a self-strength, you know? And so, although very, very painful and confusing and up and down and, you know, a whole bunch of things here, it is very rewarding when you get on the other side. Okay? So don't forget this, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, gorgeous angel pile number 3. Angel, hand painted, made in Mexico. Beautiful. I used to have 2. I don't know what I did with the other one. I think I might have gave it to someone. Anyway, beautiful angel. Let's get into your blessing, shall we? And I love that you picked the angel. So blessings. It's going to be a blessing that's coming in next for you. Okay. So let's take a look. Now, if you're developing your intuition, I do suggest you sit through this card layout, which you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this pile is for you. Okay, I don't want to give you false blessings here. It should be something that resonates with your intuition. Okay, if you are in tune with your intuition, you can click straight away on the channeled reading. I'll put the timestamp below. So we have formation. Okay, that's interesting. Not really getting much of anything with that first card. 47, the thinking woman. So we're in our mind about something. We're using our logic, or we mind identified with something with this thinking woman. She has an open book. So open knowledge about something being revealed, something taking form that might be formless. 47. Okay, and then we have, oh my goodness, look at this lion. He's roaring. So we have masculine energy here. I'm being called to put the lion here. So why is he roaring? So lions could talk about courage. Leo energy coming through. Oh my goodness. So I do think this is a man, okay? Although I don't know if I got to cover his tits, but anyway, he has abs. So he looks like he has to be in physical strength in order to carry this. So what is this? Endurance. Palm tree talks about flexibility. So something about endurance, flexibility. This lion looks like it's, I don't know, like, is it reacting here? It's roaring. Is it yawning? Maybe it's yawning, like endurance, like is something taking long? Let's see. Keeper of Wonder, number 6. So we have a circus tent. A circus can talk about a performance. And this is a little rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. Keeper of Wonder. Wonder, okay. Maybe we're thinking of something that we're curious about. We don't know for sure. Bluebird spirit, happiness. Aw, happiness, beautiful. Number 7. Happiness. Okay, I like that. Maybe you're seeing a lot of bluebirds. Do bluebirds look like this with little red bellies? I don't know if I know what bluebirds are. I know blue jays. And there's this little unicorn down there. Unicorn. Wow, very mystical, magical experience. Maybe a once-in-a-lifetime thing here with the unicorn. What is this? 16 with keys. Oh my gosh, I was totally feeling keys with was it this? I don't know. I felt a key with one of these cards, and the key could talk about answers and solutions. 16 is tower energy. Tower could be deconstruction of something, you know. We have all these stone statues, so stone is very firm, very fixed, very solid. And so with tower energy, wow, that could be quite devastating, you know, when the stone, something that's been very solid in place, comes tumbling down, it could be very destructive. This guy has a blindfold and he has a key, and there's a doorway with a keyhole. Blind, or not seeing the answer or how to open the door to the next thing. Keeper of Wonder. This card that always comes out with this cope. So somebody looks like he has folded arms. So he looks like he could be resisting something or stopped. You know, a bike could be moving, but he stopped. He has the ability to move, but he stopped here. Is he frustrated? He's resisting something. He is refusing to move. Masculine energy here. More masculine energy. We have some feminine. And I don't know, I think this is also masculine, even though I'm covering him up. Look at the hand. This gives me masculine energy because it's like doing something. You know, when we do something, it's like outputting energy. It's expansive. It's doing something, taking action, masculine. And here we have the eye of the intuitive eye. Intuition's connected to the feminine. Although, I mean, masculine and feminine can have intuition, but it's like taking action based on intuition, intuitive action, not just aimless. Yeah, look at this. He has a blindfold, which means he has to be sort of knowing, an inner knowing will open the door to some solution or some answer, to open the door to the next thing out of this fixed world. But he has to take action on this. But he's guided by intuition, so he doesn't know or see. Movement again. Masculine energy. Okay. Interesting. When I was pulling these cards, I saw this on the box and I was like, oh, this is a fascinating card. I wonder if it'd come out. It's like a little You know what I'm getting? The Fool carries a stick. I don't know. Are those called hobo sticks? I don't know. Forgive me if that's not what it's called, but it's like it's tied in a little plaid cloth and everything you ever known is in there. That's what it looks like. It's like we open up the little cloth and then all the trinkets are in there. Like there's a mirror. There's like, I don't know, it looks like a flute, a reed flute. There's like a teddy bear. There's a looking glass. There's an apple. There's a magazine. There's a piece of bread. There's a yo-yo. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of trinkets in here. We're unfolding the trinkets. Everything we ever owned. This looks like a bunch of useless stuff, though, but it's our stuff. And I don't know, what's this? A brush with some gel on it? Like, what is that? Hair gel? A comb? And a brush. Something with ego is pulling through here, but it's like everything we own. I'm feeling Tower and I'm feeling Fool energy here. Wow, Aquarius. And I'm feeling Aries, Emperor energy. And Leo. Okie dokie. 42 or the number 6. Netcaster. Preparations come to fruition. Ooh, okay. So formation, something taking form, fruition, something finally completing, being prepared. Netcaster. We cast the net and then we pull it in. What is this? Unicorn, you guys. Unicorn. Double confirmation that this is your reading here, if you're resonating with this unicorn. Innocence, trust, and honesty. Wow. Beautiful. I can't even. Wow. Okay. And we have passed over loved ones, comfort, forgiveness, and support. So I'm being drawn back to this thing because this is like taking me back to childhood, the trinkets we had in a little box that were handed down to us by our family, like passed over loved ones. Like, what is this? Their ancestors? Comfort, forgiveness, support. And look at the angel. You guys, there's so many synchronicities in your reading. Look at that angel. Divinely guided, heavily protected. See the pictures here. Some incense burning. So we see the axe chopping wood. So when we chop this much wood, we're preparing, for a long winter. We're preparing. So preparations, we're preparing, but we got to put in the energy and the efforts. And like I was talking about, something like taking action or some form of endurance here, exerted energy. Okay, axe. And here it says conversation. Conversation. So it could be communication, but what is being communicated here with conversation? Is there any meaning behind a conversation? Or is a conversation just meaningless? Like, what is this? I have a group of people passed over loved ones. Okay. I have the owl here. Owls talk about wisdom through experience. And they also have good vision. Wow. Vision came out very strong for 1, and wisdom came through for pile 2. So definitely could be, if you were pulled to either. This owl is flying. Oh, what I'm really getting here as well is like we already have the wisdom because it's now flying with its wisdom. It's not like gathering the wisdom. It's not like going through the experience. It's now flying. So we prepared. All the wood's already chopped and the preparations are coming to fruition. So this wisdom's in mid-flight. It's getting there now, or it's like about to open this door. I feel like there was endurance. There was something here that wasn't moving. Okay, let's keep going. Moment to moment. Number 2. So he's like leaping over all of these stones, not knowing what's ahead. Is kind of like moment to moment, whatever comes sort of unfolds. Twos could talk about decisions, choices. Yeah. And what do we have here? Fortune. Wow. Sun in Leo. So we were feeling Leo from here. Double Leo confirmation. Fortune is giving me Jupiter energy. Sagittarius, Pisces energy. 5. 5 is all about rebuilding, which was giving me Tower. Change. I was getting change, like from the stone to this door would require some form of change. This one is very interesting. I don't know. Let me tap into this. You guys can click straight away on the timestamp. Will take you directly to the reading as I tap into this energy. Okay, pile number 3. There's lots I have questions about here too. Wowzers. Some things are clear already, which I'll get into, and then I don't know, maybe we'll unpack some of this, and maybe hopefully the tarot provides us with insight. Now, if this cuts out, I'll have to attach another video here because this only records for a certain amount. But anyway, this could be you, energy around you. Apply it as you see fit, okay? There's something here requiring some form of new movement. Okay. And you'll know, like, if you've been sort of stagnant and stuck and fixed out of your own sort of accord, or if you've been in a situation that's like this, I don't know which it is, but I feel like there's something that is sort of stuck or stagnant or very fixed. And there's like, with this preparation, investment, and like endurance of something here, it's like being called to action. Okay, it's really being called to action. And this is like intuitive action and trusting. And like I said, I don't know if this is your energy or a situation you're dealing with, but this action does require confidence in our ability to face maybe big fears of what might be as a result of the action. But I feel like what Spirit's really talking about here is like the blessing on the other side of this action is a once in a lifetime experience here. And it's so layered, okay? Now, you're definitely heavily loved by ones that crossed over. So your ancestors, there could be ancestral traumas or ancestral things, patterns that you're sort of breaking free from. And like you're getting cheered on here by the afterlife here of supported family members to break out of this sort of thing. So maybe this would explain the stagnancy or this fixed thing, because you always had the key to move, or you had the key to solve or make movement here in some way. I say you, I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is you or not you, but wherever you're sort of being pulled to or called to or have been contemplating here for some time, that's being shown to you, you're being blessed with, is about to take formation here, but it does require your involvement. Because I do feel like there's a need to sort of trust your experience and your ability to take what comes through without resisting. And if you're being called to move with this thing, to flow with this thing, not resist, not stay where you're at. but trust your intuition here almost blindly, because you are intelligent enough with the experience you have had, with the wisdom enough to experience this, whatever the this is. But I do feel like whatever the this is like it's showing up as a unicorn, as happiness, as like big fortune, blessings here. Okay, now I feel like we might feel there's a trade-off, or like everything we own is at risk. This is kind of how I feel. It's like we see it as this palace potentially, or this like stone thing that's like larger than life potentially, or like it has like a very fixed place in our world, or a big part of our world. Okay, but I'm also feeling like the reality of the situation is it's like bits and pieces, and they could have meaning for sure, significance, but when we go looking back on what we were hanging on to or what was meaningful to us, it's actually looks completely different. They just look like odds and ends, like the significance or the impact of what that world was, or what we were hanging on to, or what it was that seems so fixed and solid and large, is actually we could do without. You know, like, yes, it might be nostalgic, and yes, we might have been very attached to it. But it seems to me like it's like when we come back to look at this from the different perspective, once we have the movement and once we sort of break this, I don't know, like I said, ancestral thing we're being called to sort of break and intuitively walk towards and take action, I feel like whatever blessing is on the other side, it is really larger than life. And so when we look back on the thing that we sort of understood as the be all end all, or everything that encompassed me, it's like it never encompassed me anyway. They were just like things, you know, or like parts of my experience that I was attributing to who I was and a part of me and my identity, and they were really significant and meaningful. And it's like, no, it really isn't, you know? Like, yes, it was a part, and there goes my email confirming this whole thing. So yes, it was an experience. But I feel like what Spirit is saying is like behind this door, which, by the way, you're being given this key. And I think you're not really knowing or seeing how you yourself can be sort of the instructor here, or the doer, or take action, or the movement towards opening that door. You couldn't possibly fathom yourself as being that. So you're kind of being guided blindly to do this thing, because it's like, the world that you're in seems very solid, and I think it will crumble in some way here, you know, and that might be very fearful. It's like, I don't want to experience a crumbling in my world. And if we see it as something like for example, like we're seeing these things, okay, you'll have to put on your, like, I don't know, your mind here that follows what I'm saying. But let's just say we perceive our world to be all of these like larger than life statues. They're very big, and if they fall, it's like destructive, and it's like, what a scene to see like this demolish of this tower. But like, if I took this little hanky with all this stuff and I just kind of threw it, like, which tower would be more crazy scary if we're amidst this tower, right, with all the stone and the rubble? And so I think we're anticipating rubble and stone and these big fixed things falling apart. And it's like, all we're really doing is just throwing this hanky with like Bazooka Joe bubble wrap, you know, and it's not to minimize what this is, but I feel like there's this like power of trusting the divine in the demolition of something that might seem very fixed, in order to explore some sort of unknown here. Because I feel like we've prepared, overly prepared, might have even had to endure, and we're sort of at this pivotal point here, and we might be like right in our mind about this thing, like there's some trade-off here, like, is this really going to give me happiness here on this other side? But we know, because intuitively I feel like we've already accepted the fact that there's something very magical and very rare and very, I don't know, it's like it's meant for you, but it's very once in a lifetime. I don't know how else to describe this thing. Okay, that's the blessing on the other side of this door. But it does require a certain amount of risk or slash acceptance of a tower. But the anticipation of that falling or tower is the fear, the uncertainty. And I think Spirit is saying, like, you see and you already understand intuitively the action you're being called to take here. You might be in your mind because you're still in this stone tower, sort of contemplating and reflecting, you know, and this keeper of wonder, it's like keeping it sort of a mystery here instead of taking action. Like, it could be something wonderful there, but it never really becomes experienced by you unless you actually do it. And I feel like this is breaking the ancestral thing, because I feel like most of the ancestors or whatever the experience has always been to live in this stone palace. But one thing about the stone is, like, it's cold. It's not producing. It's very fixed and it's very stagnant. And I feel like we're seeing it, you know, as a part of our identity. And I remember stories with all of these things, but it's like, it's cold and it's really like all these little parts, but it's like, it's, you know, like let's say we grow up and we have family and children and like grandchildren and like experiences and trips and love. And then we go and we look at this little hanky and we're like, I was going to hang on to this at the expense of my children, my grandchildren, the love and the experience and the vacation. Like, who would choose this hanky? Who would? Okay, and it's not to diminish that these things might have meant something. You know, my mom played this flute when I was 6 years old, and it used to lull me to sleep. You know, my dad used this comb, and his grandfather used the comb, and now I have the comb. So there's meaning in these items, you know? But I feel like with the mirror representing, to me, it's like there's a lot of like attachment here. And when we have attachment, we're identifying with the material world. And I feel it's keeping us stagnant. And I think we're resisting or getting in the way here of the universe. And we're not wanting to see what the trade-off might be. And so we're saying, no, I don't want to get rid of my hanky and my grandfather's comb. But Spirit knows about the unicorn and the grandchildren and the babies and the paradise and the happiness on this other side. It's like, this is coming to fruition, but you must cast that net. You know, you must walk through the door. You must listen to the intuition. You have action to take here to see this beautiful fortune, and you're experienced enough to do this thing, you know. And it's like, take it by moment, because we might be like totally overwhelmed by like, I don't know, swept away. And Spirit saying, as long as you're not resisting and you're open to the moment of what it is you need to do in that moment. And I do feel like this conversation might be this, one, ability to listen to what you're being guided to do here, because there is information sort of guiding you or giving you guidance in some way. I don't know if this is coming in way of friends, family, the divine. I feel like this to me is coming through way of other people. I don't feel like it's like, and it could still be very spiritual that these people are sort of communicating with you, but I feel like there's like communication, guidance that we might not want to be seeing or open to or receptive to hearing fully, and resisting or like hearing something else rather than what's being said to us. But I do feel like this conversation, it flows and opens this sort of understanding, if you will. So I feel like Spirit is saying, like, there's no need to be held back. There's a need to be courageous. There's a need for us to really dive in deep in that part of ourselves, you know, because something's taking formation here. And it's not a time to just sit there like humming and hawing or like thinking about things. It's time to take that information and like bird in flight, like action, move towards it, you know, because this owl could sit there reading and understanding all day long, but where does that wisdom go if we don't take action on it? It's intuitive action based on wisdom, because we already know. We have to trust, and we got to be honest with ourselves. I feel like there's a real truth in following this, and we're very much supported, and I feel like we might have people around us supporting us, you know, but are we resisting? Are we like in stagnancy here, not wanting to make movement? And I don't know, this bluebird, why the bluebird? Like, blue again is like authenticity and expressing ourselves. Look at these beautiful cherry blossom trees. What is this bluebird spirit? Maybe we read it. What do you think? What is this bluebird spirit? Let me grab the book, okay? Where is it? Okay. Is this the book? 7. Bluebird spirits. Am I running out of time? Almost. Okay. It says, you follow the sweet songs of birds into the forest as you find the source of the sound. Communication. As you as you find the source of the sound, you see in the tree above you a flock of bluebirds. The bright color of their wings shimmer in the sunlight. Their song envelops you in a soft embrace of bliss. This card is a harbinger of delight. Celebrate and have fun. Embrace life, yourself, and others. Say yes today. Yes, absolutely. Soar into the clouds and let your doubts dissolve. All is well. It's simple. Your purpose in life is to experience happiness. That's all that's required of you as a soul. You do not need to be unhappy to please another. Whatever your circumstances, there is always something that can bring you delight. And what you put your attention on will grow. When you focus on the areas of your life that bring you happiness, these areas will prosper. One of the fastest paths to true pleasure is through sharing and giving. So give of your heart and share your love. Happiness spreads to others like wildfire and can help heal the world. Beautiful. Dance and sing with abandon. Joy is your spiritual birthright. Affirm. Happiness and ecstasy flow through me wildly and freely. The spirit of the bluebird says, all is well. Say yes to life and let your doubts dissolve. Don't wait until the future. Live fully now. You do not need to struggle or suffer to grow. You can grow leaps and bounds amidst joy. This is giving me the fire that burns. I feel like there's a burning thing here. What am I doing? A burning thing here. Okay, and look at how much wood we have to keep this thing sort of going. I feel like we're resisting blessing here. We have been resisting blessing here. Okay, and we're really now being called to open that door. And when you do, this blessing is, like I said, this unicorn, this happiness. Okay, but we got to trust ourselves to open this door. And I don't know, have we been resisting blessing? We've been getting in the way. We don't want to get rid of the trinkets. You know, maybe someone else doesn't want you to get rid of the trinkets. We're living for someone else. So let's see, spirits, what is this? Let's see the tarot. Pile number 3. What is this? The communication and this tower and this, you know, there's a lot of 4 pentacle energy here, staying in comfort zone, fear of the unknown. Wow, 8 of Wands, go for it. That's communication. Maybe we're being called to have a conversation, communicate our passion, move towards that. This is all about movement. Very fast movement too. 3 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, like blocking the way of our growth and expansion. So I feel like what Spirit's saying, there might be some, for all of you guys, this is different, okay? I feel like there might be something you're wanting to say that might trigger a movement, but we're blocked here and we're not saying what we want to say. And so we're not having growth, or we're not moving forward or expanding in that world because we're stunted here. Or there might be a need to move. This is the travel card, okay? So maybe we're like, oh, I don't want to move. And so I'm blocking this growth or this potential opportunity. Again, fears could certainly be getting in the way. So we have the Magician's manifestations in reverse. Virgo, Gemini, again, a block in communication. This is communicating in order for things to move, so things can manifest. This zebra also gives me unicorn energy. It's like a very rare, unique experience here. Why is this 8 Wands here? Why is this 8 Wands here? Yeah, surrendered perspective. That's Hangman, Pisces energy. So you're needing to see how your communication will allow things to flow, but you need to first understand and see this differently, because you might have one idea of what this communication looks like. You might have one idea of what successful movement looks like, and Spirit's saying, no, rise above this so you could see it from a different perspective. You're being intuitively called to listen to your intuition, to take action. And you might have been very fixated on your point of view. You know, these are the things I must hang on to at the expense of, like I said, I don't know, future happiness here, movement, growth, expansion. Curiosity spirits, this is the Page of Wands, which is all about enthusiasm to explore. And look, net caster, this is a net. And what are they casting? Or what is she catching? Dragonfly. Dragonflies are all about cutting through illusions. There's some illusion you have of where you're at or what you're hanging on to that I feel is unreal, or it's not necessarily in line with reality, and which this hangman will see that there's really an illusion you're seeing here, and that whatever you're hanging on to, I think, has less significance here. 6 of Cups. Yeah, that's this. Nostalgic. Hanging on to the memory of the thing, you know? And maybe it's like, I'm really connected to it. It's my family. It's my great-grandfather's thing, you know? And it's like, that past is in the past. There's a need to be in the present moment. Not living in the past, keeping ourselves hostage to the past. We can make new memories in the present moment. Yeah, there's a need to make new memories here. And look at the bike. Here's he sitting on the bike, stopped, resistant. Here she's walking the bike. It's everything but getting on the bike and riding the bike. I think you have a bike. You have movement that you can take. And I think you're avoiding it. And maybe you don't know, you know, you're walking the bike, you're sitting on the bike, you're whatever. And it's like, no, you're not seeing the truth. The truth is that a bike is used to have movement. Start with speaking some truth here. 4 of Wands, and is in reverse. So the 4 of Wands talks about our community, talks about coming together, celebrating, having fun, like we read in that card, marriage, commitment, a rite of passage, the next milestone here. I've seen 2 feet. Okay. So partnership here. They're looking out of a tent. Oh my goodness. Don't we see a tent here? Look, it's the same color. These readings are fascinating. Look at this tent. They're inside. The Keeper of Wonder. I think you're really being called, okay, to use your key of intuition, even if you don't see, to open the door, because behind there is fireworks. Look at all that fireworks. Okay, lightning would be tower energy. And I feel like we might fear the tower, but here on the other side, we're cozy. You know, our feet are touching here. We're looking at these fireworks, and it's like a beautiful feeling of feeling home, feeling, I don't know what this feeling is, but I feel like we're trading it off for Bazooka Joe wrappers. I just keep getting Bazooka Joe wrappers. If you don't know what that is, then forgive me, but I don't know. It's like, this is getting in the way of building something and not it manifesting, because we're too carried away with the illusion. And Spirit's saying, be youthful, trust, explore. You know, don't get hung up by memories of the past that keep you sort of stuck in place. Communicate truths. Allow yourself to move, to be free, to expand, to grow, to experience the unicorn, the zebra. Yes. Okay, so let's just do one more here. What is it that pile 3 then needs to know? Because you are being handed this blessing. I think you have been handed a blessing, but your inability to sort of see this maybe as a blessing and get in the present moment is sort of stunted by the past. So 6 of Cups can talk about a person, place, of the thing of the past that we have a lot of love for. Spirit, what is this message for pile 3? What is this blessing? Final message. What am I missing? Can we wrap this up for pile number 3 and bring it all together? What's their question about this blessing? What do they need to know? Thank you so much. You guys, 10 of Cups. I can't even. A Four of Wands and a Ten of Cups. That's your ultimate emotional fulfillment. It's a fairy tale. It's a happily ever after. And look at these giraffes. Giraffes talk about rising above so we could see it from a different sort of perspective. Two giraffes might have their own perspectives. And so this could be conflicting. It's like one person sees something from one perspective, the other person sees something from another perspective. It could cause like resistance, you know? That's the shadow attribute of the giraffe. And it's like we're being asked to understand that any perspective is accurate coming from that point of view. But what's most important here is a 10 of Cups, which is full emotional happiness, family enjoyment, being emotionally fulfilled. Now look, these two people. We saw 2 feet touching, and we're seeing 2 people hugging. Seeing 2 giraffes. Okay, that's your fairy tale coming true. Whatever your fairy tale is here with this unicorn. And you're just being called to listen to your intuition, take the key and open that door. So what's this? Introspection of spirit. This is the Queen of Wands in reverse. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Beautiful sunflowers now. So are we lacking confidence? Are we lacking confidence, or are we not feeling valued or seen or capable of bringing this towards us? Because that's an untruth. And we have the integration of feelings, the King of Cups in reverse. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So I feel like we're not confident in expressing our emotions or allowing our emotions to be shared or experienced here at the expense of a happy union. Okay, but Spirit's talking about this being a blessing for you to experience with another here. 5 of Swords. Yeah, there's conflict. Remember, I was getting the shadow attribute of this giraffe, which I don't normally read, in the 10 of Cups because this is the happily ever after, but I was really getting the shadow of the giraffe. 2 people are seeing their own perspective, and it creates arguments here with the 5 of Swords. 2 of Cups, you guys, 2 people coming together, finding harmony, finding balance, expressing love. I feel like you're being called to have a conversation here with the 6 Cups. This is a person of your past, okay, with the 6 Cups. Could be a friend, could be a lover, could be just making peace here. There's a need to be open to what's in your power. What are you being intuitively called to do here? Listen to the divine. And we have the Chariot of direction. So Cancer energy, the Chariot is all about success, movement, balance, being victorious. And it is in reverse, so something's blocked here. And then the 7 of Cups and the 4 of Swords in reverse. Okay. 4 of Swords talks about healing, reflecting, and taking a time out, okay? But this is in reverse. So have we taken time out? If we've taken time out, there's a need to get clear, okay, to choose wisely. Choose our cup wisely. When we choose a cup wisely, that means we've had time to reflect and be honest and see through illusion. I feel like there was conflict, and there was 2 different perspectives that might have not have been in sync here. That might have created arguments with someone, okay? There's a need for some sort of conversation in order for something to flow. And I feel like maybe we don't feel appreciated, or maybe we don't feel understood, or maybe we feel blocked emotionally or valued. And Spirit is saying there's a way to have harmony and balance by choosing correctly how it is that we're going to express the truth, by not getting stuck in illusion or fear, and recognize here where things might be very stuck because of our own inability to take action. And when things are stuck, it's like the universe wants us to succeed and win, but we have to recognize where we're getting in the way of the universe, where we're resisting, you know? It's like this bike could move, but we're like, no, I'll be here. This chariot could move, but we're like, I don't want to move it or go on this movement, like I said. So you're really being asked to make a decision here to allow things to move. The Lovers in reverse, and it says alignment. with this doves, 2 doves. Doves talk about peace, forgiveness, and look, you guys, forgiveness. Passed over loved ones. Did you pass over a relationship? Did you pass over a union here? Did you have a choice to be happy? Maybe you sabotaged. Maybe it didn't work out. Maybe there was a lot of conflict here. And Spirit's saying there's balance to be had here for sure. Okay. But I feel like, I don't know, like there is a decision that sits with us and that we're being called to take action. And if it means having a conversation to clear the air, to have forgiveness, in order for us to be seen and express how we're feeling, this is what's going to create beautiful union here. Okay, so there is a possibility here for happiness. Don't focus on what was not working or what was said, because I do feel like whatever is on this other side is this beautiful unicorn experience, and we're throwing it away for, I don't know, Bazooka Joe rappers. I don't know what else to say to you, but this is your blessing. Okay, so if you're doing everything you can, then I guess you're doing everything you can. But if you feel like you're in a stuck statue here of coldness, not wanting to step into the warmth here, then we might be sabotaging. And it's like we have the experience to know better, to see better, to take action, to have clarity, to attain this beautiful fortune. But we are being called to live in this moment, not in the 5 swords. So we might be living in the past arguments, the past conflicts, the past uncertainty, and we're thinking, and it's like 4 swords. It's like, no, we already reflected. Let's not keep that sort of a mystery. Yeah, the Chariot, success. Okay, so you're being called to move forward with the universe here. And look, we see 2 birds, not 1. So beautiful. Pile number 3. This is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.